Greetings, my lovelies out there, and you night owls. Hope everybody's having a good evening. This is Gary. I am from Nerdrotic. I am live in San Francisco, California, and this is a very late Nerdrotic nooner, and I've got my cool little stream deck working right now. So you're just a button away. I can do all kinds of fun stuff. So, hi, let's see who's here. Let's see who's here before we get to the festivities. We've got Dave and Eric K and his wrench and HS and Nitrum and Lady, how am I supposed to say? Damiana. Lady Damiana. Sounds so exotic. The Gaming Wolf, 87. Mr. Leonard Games. Fred Darmstadt. Titan. With just a question mark. That's pretty much my constant state, Titan, I have to say. Sad but true, Sony. That's true. Fuck Naughty Dog. Titan, cocaine is a hell of a drug. I can attest to that, my friend. Paul Schuster, Matt G, Bionic Belly Button. Hello, Bionic Belly Button. Geek Tropology, Atomic Vomit. Hail to you. RR, what's up? L Argo 30, Nicholas Horton. And No Good. Oh, that's my middle name. No Good. Hello, Sheila Allen. How are you? So this one's, again, for you night owls and for you Aussies. So g'day. G'day, all the Aussies and maybe some early birds in the UK. Normally, the Nerdrotic Nooners at noon, but this month, I have no idea what time they're going to be when they happen because I have to make videos too. So I spent all day making a video. That's why we're probably not going to talk about George R. R. Martin too much because I think I said it all in that video. Maybe. We covered everything basically that went on over the last week. It's a bit of a roller coaster because I start out kind of giving him a lot of shit, but then I end up defending him. So they did attempt, the SJWs did attempt to cancel George R. R. Martin. Good luck with that, by the way. So we're starting to see everything implode now. Hollywood, sports, entertainment in general. I think the only thing that's going to be free of destroying itself just because it's so massively big right now is gaming. And Hollywood will be owned and operated by Amazon and Netflix maybe by this time next year. Who knows? So as Hollywood is imploding and they're eating themselves, they might be unintentionally more entertaining than when they were intentionally. Does that make sense? With this whole Ellen thing, which I normally don't talk about that stuff on my channel, but it's fascinating. I'm absolutely enthralled with what's going on with Ellen and, Jimmy Kimmel. Is supposed to be coming back doing the Emmy Awards, right? Is he doing the Emmys or the Golden Globes? I can't remember. I don't really care because I'm not going to watch either of them. We can talk a little bit about the Hugo Awards and what a fracking joke they are. If you saw, I put up one of the acceptance speeches. We will go over that. I put it up on Twitter, and that's only one of many. One of many. Pretty much the whole Hugo Awards was America is anti-black, and it's a horrible place. Oh, by the way, thank you for the award, American Publisher. So, yeah. So what happened with the sci-fi and fantasy community is 5 years ago is what Comicsgate is now and what the Fandom Menace is now, except the sci-fi and fantasy community, I mean, they got their asses kicked. They lost. So there was this sad puppy movement. You can't look it up anywhere because it's just all on Wikipedia, so it's all really biased. They call it an anti-diversity movement, which that's not what it was. It was trying to keep SJWs out of sci-fi and fantasy. I mean, good luck with that. They completely took over. They infiltrated it, and now they are trying to cancel George R. R. Martin. There's no stronger proponent for or commercial for self-publishing at this point. The comic industry is not far behind. We are nearing the reckoning, the beginning of the end for Star Trek, Doctor Who, and comic books right now. And the whole Whisper Network thing it's kind of perfect. It sums up what the comic industry is. It went out with a whisper. It went out with a whisper. So when they had these, I don't know, 4 to 5 months to get together, plan, try to rebuild the comic book industry, build a new foundation, try to bring in new customers, they just spent the whole time trying to cancel each other, squabbling. And I do have to report some serious news. It's on his Facebook. So as much as I like to give Brian Hibbs shit, and I love to give him shit, I hope he gets better. He had a heart attack last night. So I want him to recover so we can disagree on things till the end of time. So get well, Brian. Truly get well. I hope you're feeling better. Apparently it was pretty serious, but he's doing okay right now. We got some, we're going to end the night with some good news, with some Lord of the Rings news. We are, again, going to go over, there's a weird tweet put up by BBC America trying to insinuate that there's more to come from Doctor Who. What they meant basically was the Christmas special or the festive special. We're pretty close to the beginning of the end of Star Trek with 23 weeks in a row of Star Trek, which I will be covering. Again, the sad state of comics. But I am going to start out by, I was going to do a video on this. I may clip this out as a video. I may not. It depends on how it goes. I've tried to start this video 20 times. And it just hasn't worked out because I don't know. I try not to get partisan here. I don't, because I'm not a partisan person. I'm very centrist, very by the issue. And I've not been a registered Republican or Democrat at any point in my life. I've always been a registered independent. That's when I even could legally vote. For that very limited time I was allowed to legally vote. I can't legally vote now, I'm sure, but I'm sure in California they count it. I guarantee you they count it. So I, as you guys know, am leaving the state of California. When the year began, things were fine. I had no intention of leaving. I heard of this thing called the beer bug. I heard it might come over here, but I was told it wasn't that serious. I believe it was the World Health Organization that was saying it at the time. This was in January. So didn't think much about it, was going about my merry way. We were worried about, I can't even remember what it was now, that thing, COPA, that was coming to YouTube. That was probably my biggest worry, and it turned out to be a big nothing. So yeah, beginning of the year was great, and here we are halfway through the year, and I'm moving. I'm fucking moving. My kid doesn't have a school to go to. He has special needs, so he requires school. We put in a lot of time and effort and money to get him into a private Catholic school here in San Francisco, to get him out of the San Francisco curriculum. And that school got shut down for the rest of the year. That program got shut down and no replacement was given for my son. So he's going to miss a year of school. He's just going to straight up miss a year of school. We're going to try to homeschool him as best we can, find a tutor, again, at great expense. And that's just one worry. That's my main one. Also, prior to March 16th, my wife, Melissa, Mrs. Nerdrotic, owned a salon called Secret Agent Salon. I can say where it is now because it doesn't exist anymore. It was on California Street, 2843 California Street in San Francisco, California, right below Pacific Heights, the hoity-toityest neighborhood in the city. She had the hoitiest clients. She still does, by the way. And A-list clients who are CEOs in Silicon Valley, clients who used to be supermodels, clients who are current supermodels. She has done the hair of Kimberly Guilfoyle. You might have heard of her. She's done Gavin Newsom's hair. She's done a lot of people's hair. A lot of rock stars. She's been flown around. So, yeah, my wife is actually the rock star in the family. She makes the most money. She's been written up in Vogue and multiple magazines, like every fashion magazine you can think of, for 20 years. 20 years. She was the creative director of one of the biggest salons here in San Francisco called DiPietro Todd. She was a mover and a shaker. She had to shut down her salon. She sent out her letter today to her clients just when she was starting to feel better. She called me. She sent me a little emoji with like a broken heart on it. So I called her to make sure she's okay. She's okay. But having, the only, God, it's hard to talk about. So this is her live stream, and it went up in smoke. I guess the only thing she can walk away with is she went out on top. It took the government shutting her down. It wasn't that she went out of business because she was incompetent or lost her talent or anything. It was an act of, I won't say an act of God, an act of somebody who thinks they're God, an act of inept politicians who don't give a shit about their constituents. Now, I, of course, live in a Democratic city, so I will be giving them some shit. Sorry, not sorry. I chose to live here, and for the most part, didn't bother me. Again, I'm a centrist by the issue person, but I'm not like hyper political. So it just didn't affect my life. It was expensive to live here. Parking tickets suck. Every time, you can't even park in front of your house for a week straight. You have to move your car because of the street cleaner. That's fine. That's city living. I get it. I didn't really have a problem with it. The reason I moved here to begin with, I was born and raised in San Diego. I moved to San Francisco 18 years ago, was Melissa. So we both had careers, but hers was the rock star career, and I was selling auto parts. So I could do that anywhere. So I transferred up here, moved up here. It wasn't like my life's dream to live in San Francisco. I liked it, thought it was a cool city. I'm like, cool, I could live there, because she's here. And we built a little life that we're pretty proud of here. We bought a house. I owned that business that I talk about too much, the comic shop, for 10 years. I also, worked for Toyota, worked for Tesla, worked at a little German car shop run by a bunch of racists. That's a story for another day. Yes, hardcore. Like, that word racist gets thrown around. No, these guys were like legit. I hated working there. It sucked. I just checked in on the boss the other day. He sold the business, and he's selling real estate in Portland now. Karma, bitch. So I did other things too. But I mainly, sold comic books here for the majority of the time. And then, I've been doing this YouTube gig for the last couple of years. Again, things were great prior to March 16th. Now we're having to uproot our lives. I'm not sure if we can even sell our house. And again, I don't want to come off saying my story is not the worst story. I know there's people who are way worse off. This is just a single story that I would like to tell. And hopefully, if you have a similar story, tell it. More people need to hear this. That's the one thing you're not hearing, right? You're not hearing how this is affecting regular people. You're hearing plenty about a bunch of fake moms in Portland, or some grandma writing out her kid, who deserved it, by the way, for bombing a building in Portland. Hearing plenty about that shit, but you're not hearing about the mom and pop that had to close down because a politician's decision. That's it. Because the government, both sides, couldn't come together with a consensus that made sense, that was practical, that had the entire country's best interest at heart to try to figure this thing out. No, it was partisan and squabbling from the get-go. And quite frankly, it's all pissed me off. The mainstream media is a joke anyway, and all they've done is proven it. They have proven that they are not trustworthy. Whatever they say, you probably should do the opposite. Silicon Valley's been complicit with this shit, which has been disappointing. I am grateful that YouTube, for the most part, lets us say what we want here. I'm sure we'll get ghosted or whatever. I don't care. I'll pop it up as a video later, like I said. So, yeah, I had no intention of leaving California 6 months ago. Now I'm going to leave California. Why? I'll be real. As a centrist, as a nonpartisan person, it's a blue state. I'm not going to be in a blue state. It is utterly clear that this has been politicized, and I don't know what to believe. All I want is the truth. If it's scary, if it's a hard truth, that's all I want. But I don't know if I'm getting it. And trust has to be earned, and the state has not earned my trust. The mainstream media has not earned my trust. So no, I don't believe them. I flat out don't believe them. I'm sure there's a lot of people working within the state and within these institutions that are telling the truth, but the waters have been poisoned. And because I can't trust these states or the state, I don't want them lording over me anymore. I live in a city that's had some of the lowest numbers since the beginning of the beer bug, period. There's been no major spikes here. There's been no, there's been, I think it's still under 60 deaths since the beginning. I don't know the details of these. I don't know if it was something else that they labeled the beer bug or just the beer bug. It's 60 too many, honestly. But the numbers are low enough for we should be open right now. We should just flat out be open. It should be regional. And I was always meant to flatten the curve, and the goalposts have moved so much, I don't even give a shit anymore. I know how this story is going to end here in California. We're going to be shut down till after the election. That's a fact. Probably till early next year. And depending on how the election turns out, we'll see how much longer we're closed. So I have no doubt there has been no word on reopening at all. They were about to, what really made us, what was the thing that made us finally just say, fuck it, we're leaving, was they had planned to reopen on July 13th. That was the day they had always given. Then they said it's full steam ahead, go ahead. Melissa had put a great expense into making her salon compliant with the state so she could practice social distancing while she's working, so she could bring back some of her employees and her business partner. By the way, the salons have been the hardest hit along with the restaurants here. And the majority, I won't say the majority, but I'll say a good number, maybe half of the salon owners and the restaurant owners here in San Francisco are members of the Alphabet community. So they have been hit pretty hard and they're not happy, just so you know. But this is a lesson for us all. This is a lesson for us all. Pay attention to who you vote into office, especially in your local elections. And make sure they're not some yahoo who is not qualified for the job like our Mayor, London Breed, who was just an up-jumped secretary. That's all she is. She replaced our mayor who passed away, and she stayed in the job because she's a woman. That's pretty much it. There was no real competition for her. And honestly, the mayor of San Francisco, it's a pretty powerful position. I mean, we got a governor who was a former mayor, and Willie Brown was a former mayor. So, San Francisco politicians rise up pretty high here in California when this is the city that represents this state the least, believe it or not. I mean, there's San Francisco and LA, and the rest of the state has to follow suit, but the rest of the state is not the same, believe me. And I know a lot of people are leaving. I'm not the only one. Joe Rogan's leaving. And Joe Rogan, yours truly, and maybe hundreds of thousands of other people, because we know the score. We know what's really going on. Of course, you can't say it. And if you say it out loud, people go conspiracy theory, whatever. Bullshit. We've already seen plenty of evidence that this has been politicized. There's been skullduggery with the numbers, to say the least. There's been enough for me to get the hell out of here, because I know what's going on at this point, and there's not a lot I can do about it. If I thought this was a fight I could win with others, sure, but no, everybody's pretty much lockstep here in San Francisco. So I would say there's a group of people who are legit scared. They don't want to come out. They don't feel safe, and that's a personal thing. You're going to have to get over that someday, but I don't doubt that you're scared, and I'm not going to shame you for being scared. Why wouldn't you be? If the mainstream media is shoveling you fear porn all day, you just got to get away from that maybe. And then there's a portion of people who are trying to shame you for wanting to go back to work or talk of the masks because they're partisans. They're just flat out partisans. That's the majority of Twitter, pretty much. It's disingenuous. It's full of crap. We all know it. I don't think they're that stupid, but they certainly are. They would just burn their own house down to get the orange man out of office. So, and that's pretty much how I see the Democratic Party in California, particularly. I can't speak for another state. I'm just talking about here. They would rather burn this state down than have the orange man be in office for another 4 years. And that's pretty clear at this point. And again, I say that as not a partisan person who, honestly, I voted for Howard the Duck last election and the election before that as well. No, it was Gandalf, the election before that. So, because my vote doesn't count, so it doesn't matter. So I just write in silly. I might write in Jello Biafra this year just to be a dick. But, this year. If I voted for the orange man, they would change my vote or lose it or something anyway, or it just wouldn't count because it's here in California. So voting for the orange man's like a fart in the wind. But I'm pretty pissed. And a lot of people are waking up to this. That's the encouraging thing. But there's still this quote unquote silent majority that really needs to get up and do something. And I hate turning tail and leaving. It does feel like a defeat. It is a defeat. It's a defeat. And that's the hardest thing to come to terms with. But fuck California. If I'll defund the police. That's another thing. That's the straw that broke the camel's back. The police chief saying he wants to defund the fucking police. The police chief. So sure, you know what? I'll defund the police. I'll do what you ask. I'll also defund the street cleaners. I'll defund the meter maids. I'll defund the teachers. I'll defund the schools. I'll defund the city tax collectors. I'll defund the fucking mayor. I'll defund all of you motherfuckers because I'm leaving. Goodbye. You're on your own. Hope you fall into the motherfucking ocean. I hope it just waits until I leave. Because they don't give a shit. And I'm sure there is a million stories out there of people losing their restaurants. The Bay Area has lost 300 restaurants. It's going to lose at least 100 salons. The nail salons, who are largely owned by the Asian community, they are dying out right now. And they have actually banded together with the salons to try to get something done. And they have been trying to and I don't blame them, man. Pull the freaking Asian card. Do it as much as you can. And they aren't getting anywhere with it. So, wow. Doesn't that show you how the Democratic Party, the party of the people, what they really fucking think? If you're lockstep with us, you're just fine. But sorry about your business. Here, we'll give you some more PPP money. Well, here's how this is going to play out. The federal government is in a sticky situation because right now the states it's adversarial. It's adversarial. So they're trying to trap the federal government. They're trying to get them to send troops in. They're trying to get them to withhold PPP money so they can go, look. And people play along with this shit again, because they're partisan. And those of us in the middle who can see what's going on go, whoa, wait a minute. And you know what? The federal government hasn't been perfect on this either. Not even fucking close. Okay, so I'm not going to sit there and say they've been, this Fauci idiot. No, I don't know what the truth is. To this day, I don't know. And I don't think I'm going to get it. Well, I'm not going to get it from the mainstream media. If you look hard enough, you can find some kernels of truth. But when you see YouTube and Facebook and Twitter banning videos of doctors just because they're partisan and just because it came from one side. And of course, I believe that both sides should be heard equally. No videos should be banned. And the reason they're being banned is not because of public safety. It's because of partisanship. But they'll claim it's public safety, and we're watching this whole fucking game play out. And we see the puppeteers, we see this shit going on, and we're not doing anything because of comfort. We just want to go back to our comfortable lives. It's not a judgment. It's not bad, but because of comfort. But they want to take that away. They have taken that away. It is now gone. They have invaded our escapism, every facet of our lives, sports, every fucking thing. So yeah, I've been battling this culture war here for a couple of years on my channel, and I again, I can't afford to fucking move, and I'm not asking for money here. I mean, I'm able to do it. We were able to save money, but the frustrating thing is we played by the rules. We did everything right. We paid our taxes on time. We showed up to work on time. We paid our employees on time. We paid our small business tax, our property tax. I just paid my income tax, and I felt like a fucking sucker. I was paying my income tax while people were burning down American cities. Tell you what, that's not going to happen again. So I would like the cities to stop burning first. But yeah, I'm not going to be paying for this shit. Tell me Portland isn't organized. So those group of people just spontaneously attack that building every single day. Where are they getting the money? Where are they getting the stuff? Where are they getting the gear? I mean, it's fucking Portland. It's where the young go to retire. It's a bunch of people who have urban gardens and ride around on unicycles with pythons, half naked, and they own a socialist bookstore. They're not that fucking organized. I have friends who live in Portland. Portland defines my generation, which is the greatest disappointment. The greatest disappointment. Punk rockers who like to follow rules. Bunch of punks. So the first part of it, this is going to be a long process. So the first part of it is moving out of San Francisco immediately because it has been shut down, and at least San Diego has shown that they will defy this as much as they can. And it's a more spread out city, so it's not people on top of each other. And I can go to San Diego and know if I defend my property, the town I'm going to will back me up. They won't arrest me or anything. So if somebody tries to come to my house and I don't know, take care of business, shall we say, I won't end up in jail. Here I would. Here I'm expected to just leave my house and give it to whoever breaks in. This before the beer bug, before all the rioting and looting, the cops weren't responding to shit anyway. You all saw that memeology video with those people cleaning out the Walgreens. That was the Walgreens down the street from my comic store on Ocean Avenue. And if you walk into a Walgreens and take just under $900 worth of shit, they're not going to arrest you. So, I mean, come to San Francisco and grab some shit if you want to. I don't give a fuck. I mean, it sucks for the businesses, but they're going to start shutting down. I mean, Walgreens isn't, because they make a killing selling opiates up here. So they're just fine. The epidemic is pretty bad up here. Believe it or not, despite the lockdown, the Tenderloin is still open for business. But you can't get a fucking haircut. Can't get a fucking haircut. That's why I'm leaving Clownifornia, because it's a fucking clown show here. And it didn't always used to be this way. I used to like some of the weirdness. I dig some of the weirdness, but if the weirdness now comes, well, the weirdness used to be fun. Now the weirdness is mental illness, and that being used, basically a bunch of useful idiots at this point. So, no thanks. No thanks. And, I mean, like, I could just chalk up reason after reason. You can get your D sucked down on the Tenderloin, but you can't get a haircut. You can buy all the pot you want, but you can't vape for some reason. And the only reason I'm stuck on that one, because that makes no sense. Although, I mean, the pot lobby is pretty good. Listen, go ahead, 420 away. Okay, no judgment. I'd smoke all the damn pot you want. But I mean, how many times have I heard like pot is practically good for you? It's like, oh, come on, please, it's smoke. I don't know. I guess this new weed, synthetic weed, is popping. I heard it's nothing like the stuff I had when I was a kid. When I smoked weed, there were sandburrs, and I had to walk to the pot dealer uphill both ways. So yeah. All right. So, the process has begun. The only room that is not packed up is this one, and that starts tomorrow. So I'm going to do a little video kind of showing it off while I'm taking it down. I will still be making videos. I will still be live streaming regularly. I'm not going to stop. And I am moving to a much bigger studio I believe, on the 13th, and you'll probably notice it by the end of the month. So everything should be up and running back to schedule on September 1st. But I'm still going to do Nooners. Friday Night Tights is still going to be Friday. We're still going to do the Inquisition. The Exozone will fire up later in the month. Going to do bag and boarding with Az tomorrow at 10. Again, my video is done. I just got to make a thumbnail. I worked on it all day today. But moving down to San Diego, North County, immediately. So Melissa's there already in a house that we're renting temporarily while I go on an occasional road trip, like once a month, to go check out a state to see where we want to live. Probably hang out for like 3, 4, 5 days to get a little bit of the vibe. There's a bunch of places I've been already, so I know what they're like. Like Scottsdale, Arizona, I've been to a million times. Phoenix, Arizona, Las Vegas, I know intimately. But it's a blue state now. Or Vegas. It would be Vegas like in a minute. But Arizona is a possibility. Texas is number 1 on the list. I'm going to check out San Antonio first and other places. And we'll go from there. Idaho's not out of the question. Not a city. Not a big city. The burbs is fine, but it has to be outskirts. Like, I'm not going to be anywhere near a city anymore. And I don't think I'm the only one. I think there's a lot of people thinking about that right now. And they're calling it white flight. No, it's just flight. It's just flight. My neighborhood, I'm actually one of the only white dudes within 3 or 4 blocks. And there are 4 for sale signs in my direct neighborhood. Like, you can see them from my house. That's like seeing 4 unicorns at once. Property just doesn't go for sale in San Francisco like this. And again, 4 houses in my direct neighborhood. So it's probably everywhere. People want to just get the hell out. Melissa's business partner is getting out of the state, He's moving to Florida. By the way, Florida, get ready for an influx of a lot of San Francisco gay men. A lot of alphabet dudes are going to be on their way to Florida. I mean, there's a big community there anyway. It's just going to get bigger. That's all. But be ready. Well, they all have second homes in Florida anyway. I mean, so you might not notice a difference at all. So that's my CalEXIT. Hail, Gary. The Umbrella Academy 2 got a 6 out of 10 woke. Still good writing. Number 5 was good, but Klaus acting was best. Used to watch all the Star Trek, but only watch your reviews and your Star Trek Picard review. Make it show, says Trek Dog. Your name is Trek Dog too. It's for $16.99. Yeah, I'm going to be reviewing Lower Decks. I don't know how interested anybody's going to be. I don't know how many people are going to watch it. I'm guessing not many. I'm guessing it might be people reviewing it. So I will probably do a full review of Umbrella Academy 2. It's not as good as season 1. Nowhere near as good as season 1, which was like a 9 out of 10. There's 2 storylines in there that are just straight up for the checking the boxes. But number 5 is brilliant. Klaus is great. The bummer thing is, well, I'll save it for the review. The one saving grace is there is a civil rights storyline. It makes sense in the 60s, and the actor is really good. That saves it a lot. And it's not overly preachy. It's just predictable. It's just, okay. But the thing is, it's just in everything. It's in effing everything. I don't know how they do it, but every show has found a way to either fit in civil rights or the Yahtzees. And it could be a show about anything. And they'll figure out a way to get civil rights or the Yahtzees into it. And it's nonstop. So what do you think entertainment's going to do now? Well, I mean, they have no choice. They're going to go woke, and they will go broke. We just got the news that the NBA and the Major League Baseball's ratings are down. Who didn't see that coming? Who didn't see that coming? Know your fucking audience. And I tell you right now, baseball can't afford it. Baseball can't afford to fuck around. The NBA's strong. The NFL's strong. Baseball, it's okay. But I don't know, a couple of years of no major revenue stream, that's going to be a problem. It's going to be a big problem for Hollywood. You know what's propping all of these Major League Baseball and the NBA and Hollywood up right now is you and I. You and I here in the States, we're propping them up by funding their free loans, which isn't even a loan, it's a gift for the PPP, while the small businesses go out. You know, Hollywood is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and they've got their hand out so quick. You know, we're paying for the comic book industry. We're paying for Steve Jeppy and Diamond Comics distributors and comic book creators who simply just want to destroy. We're funding their it frustrates me, but it won't last forever. These people, like I said, vocational school is a viable option. It's a viable option. John Wayne drinks SJW tears. Hail, Gary, did you watch Robert Davi call out Hollywood for their disgusting behavior? Yes, that's been all over the news today. And we will watch that a little bit. He went on the news a little while ago, and he went on. I didn't get a chance to go over all the audio, but we'll check out some of it. But Robert Davi's, he's a known conservative in Hollywood. There's a few of them. There's a few conservatives in Hollywood who are very, Dean Cain is one of them. So yeah, Robert Davi knows what's up. But Robert Davi's always been like that. I don't know if he's making the news now because he's one of the few people who's been pretty consistent over time. Robert Davi, you would know him. Oh God, what has he been? And he plays, he was in, it's on the tip of my tongue now. Oh, he's in a huge movie. He always plays like a mafia guy or a criminal. He's a good actor though. Mr. Fish's alternate reality for 10 Australian dollars. G'day, Mr. Fish. G'day. Yeah, when I tell that CalEXIT story, I get fucking angry. And I don't like sitting in my anger for a long, long time. But if it was happening to me, I'd feel differently about it. Because I don't know, enough shit's happened to me. I don't like living in the victim space. Like, woe is me. I got fucked over by the state. Wow. You know what? A lot of people got fucked over by the state. You know what? George Floyd got fucked over by the state. Wasn't the nicest guy in the world, but he didn't deserve to die. But then the state fucked us all over by not putting their foot down and stopping any of this shit, which they could have, by the way. Did you notice how quickly the chode got cleaned up when they decided it needed to go? Like they tried to say, well, it was really hard for us to get them out there and they're just being peaceful. No, they could have removed them whenever the fuck they want, just like this shit in Portland. They could stop that whenever they want, but they won't. And what that does is it hurts you and me. Every time one of these corporations bends the knee to this crap and they donate to BLM, which doesn't have the interests of all black people in America's best interest. They don't have. They're there for a party, trying to be somewhat non-specific about it. They're there for a particular party, so they don't have the best interests of all black people, just some. And by bending the knee, you are exacerbating this. I said this when Bad Reboot came out and asked for no more white comfort. Although their entire business is a luxury, so it's reliant on white comfort. So I'm not really sure what they mean unless they're part of this, and they were. That's essentially rooting on the violence. It's no difference. You're just rooting it on. You made it worse. So we all sat back and watched, and I'm going to remember every little bit of it. I am. So, it's going to make it very hard to enjoy entertainment, even when they decide to stop getting partisan. Maybe if they decide to right the ship. Well, I'm going to remember that these companies essentially were rooting on rioting and looting, telling us it was just property. A lot of their employees were telling us, and that's all actors are. They're employees. They're contract employees. Adult pretenders. They were rooting this shit on. The rich people behind they're in their gated communities or in their gated mansions were rooting this shit on. Ask Brie Larson. Brie Larson co-signed defunding the police. So did Natalie Portman. Two of the big stars at Disney's Marvel. Want the police gone. I would definitely say, because they hire the police to block off roads for premieres. The police have probably looked the other way many times when they have pulled over an actor or an actress when they were unconscious behind the wheel of a car, puking all over themselves, ODing on opiates with with an expired lady of the night in the trunk. There's a lot of that happened. I would definitely say the police should stop defending them, treat them just like the rest of us. I would be all for that. I would. So yeah, we can start by don't protect Brie or Natalie Portman anymore. They're on their own. See how they do. I'm sure they'll hire all their security and everything. Yeah. So that's going to be hard to forget. I mean, that's why it's, and maybe they'll figure this out someday if there still is movie stars and if there still is a Hollywood, because honestly, I thought Hollywood would survive just fine. It survived depressions. I didn't think Hollywood would crash and burn through the beer bug, but they could now, because without movie theaters, they are fucked. We're all starting to understand like how streaming works, how much money they actually make from streaming. And guess what? It's not a lot. It's not a lot. But we've been entertaining each other just fine. So what I've been doing, I think what a lot of people have been doing, just reading old books, reading old comics, watching old movies, watching live streams, creating myself, spending a little more time with my family, hanging out with Nerdrotic Jr., which is my favorite thing to do. And we went on a little walk today before the live stream. And we don't need them. We don't need movie theaters. We don't need Natalie Portman or Brie Larson. I mean, thank God for Brie Larson. Thank God she's here on YouTube and making an idiot of herself. I'm okay with that. I'm actually all for it. I was a little excited when she came over here to YouTube. We do need content sometimes. Now, I'm not super reliant on other people. I can make my own content. I could just turn on the microphone and talk. That'd be fine. I'll figure out something to talk about. But yeah, I was really, I'm still pretty mad. And yeah, I directly, Gavin Newsom, how can I put this? He could be worse. He did try to open up the states and then he left it to the counties. And what London Breed, the mayor, did is she hid behind the health department. And that was the nefarious thing that California did. But I do think this was on the orders of Gavin Newsom, that the mayors weren't making the decision. The health departments were making the decisions. Funny thing, had a doctor's appointment today. First doctor's appointment for yours truly in a decade. I think the last time I went to the doctor was in the emergency room when I crushed my thumb. So I'm old, basically, and I have a bit of a shoulder injury. It's fine, no big deal. Little physical therapy, and I'm old, but it's a rotator cuff thing. But while I was on hold for the hospital, because I did a video doctor appointment today, strangest thing on the hold message, and this is for Kaiser Permanente in Daly City. If anybody wants to call and check to double check what it said, because this is what it said. I'm paraphrasing. If you are concerned about the beer bug, don't be. Chances are you're going to be just fine. There's a very low death rate. Chances are you will not be hospitalized. You'll get through your symptoms sometimes without even noticing, and you'll be perfectly safe. It was, I couldn't believe that was the answering machine message. It was basically saying, oh, you're going to be fine. This thing's not that bad. I'll grab a recording of it and I'll put it up on Twitter. Because if you listen to the actual hospital, what? Yeah, it basically says, yeah, this isn't that bad. So don't worry about it. Okay. And the whole time I'm thinking, why has my state been locked down since March 16th? Why has my city been locked down since March 16th? And we are as locked down right now. We're not the shelter in place, but the one right after that. And mind you, during the riots, we had a goddamn curfew here for 3 days of 8 o'clock. Wokeites are totally unfallible. The woke access excess media is burning down the common ground on which we build colorful friendships. The humble grumbler for $4.99. The thing is, it is going to fail because we are essentially funding this shit. Listening to those speeches at the Hugo Awards last night, because I was doing the research for the video, and half of this research just didn't end up in the video because I didn't want to make half of it about the Hugo acceptance speeches because they were just fucking cringe. But we will go over them on Friday Night Tights. I was going to do it on a nooner, but I think it would be better with the guys if they heard some of this. But we can most definitely listen to one right now. Hang on just a second. Oh shit. I'm sorry. I didn't have the which one do I want to do? This one? There we go. I didn't have your that up. I'll fix that. When I import it over to Nerdrotic Live, I'll make sure I get the chat in the beginning of that. I can fix that. But let's go to Twatter. Jeremy offered Jeremy offered to take my Twitter for a week, and I might do it. I might give him my password to see if he can get me kicked off. So I'll warn you guys when Jeremy takes over my Twitter. Here it is right here. Oh, here it is. Here it is. So let's go to, is it article? There. Ah, man, this Stream Deck is awesome. I got El Gato, the cat Stream Deck. So you ready for this? You ready for? Make sure your cringe muscles are nice and massaged. Oh, look, there's Quarter Black Garrett. Here we go. Now, again, this is an acceptance speech for like the best new writer. All right. This is her first award. Can you hear that? It sounds really low. Hang on. Let me start it again. She talks really freaking low. I got that cranked up, but hang on. I will see if you guys can. I'm checking something. Hang on a second.
You will very likely be paid only a fraction of the advance that white writers are getting.
All right. Sorry. We'll start that again.
Just say quickly, the Astounding Award is the award for the best new writer. But if I were talking to a new writer coming to the genre in 2020, I would tell them, well, if you are an author of color, you will very likely be paid only a fraction of the advance that white writers are getting. You will be pigeonholed, you will be miscategorized, you will be lumped in with other authors of color whose work doesn't remotely resemble yours. The chances are very high that you will be sexually harassed at conventions or the target of racist microaggressions, or very often just overt racism. Just say quickly, the Astounding Award is the award for the best new writer. But if I were talking to a new writer coming to the genre in 2020, I would tell them, well, if you are an author of color, you will very likely be paid only a fraction of the advance that white writers are getting. You will be pigeonholed, you will be miscategorized, you will be lumped in with other authors of color whose work doesn't remotely resemble yours. The chances are very high that you will be sexually harassed at conventions or the target of racist microaggressions, or very often just overt racism. People will mispronounce your name repeatedly and in public, even people who are on your publishing team. Your cover art will be racist, and you'll have to push against that. And the way people talk about you and your literature will be tied to your identity and your personal trauma instead of the stories you're actually trying to tell. And if I had known all of that when I went into the industry, I don't know if I would have done it. So I think that the best way that we can celebrate new writers is to make this industry more welcoming for everyone.
Wow. That is gratitude personified, don't you think? That was like, hey, thanks for the award, racist. Oh my God. I need Az's clown horn right now. So you're going to get sexually harassed at conventions. Your cover art's going to be racist. They're going to lump you in with other people. I don't want you to focus on my identity, but you need to focus on my identity, and then you lump me in with other people and you can't pronounce my name. That's a hate crime. By the way, if mispronouncing a name is a fucking hate crime, then everybody hates me. Because if you didn't hear me pronouncing my name, you would not know how to pronounce it. Shit, my entire family. We've got Beeklers and Bucklers. They can't even agree within the family how to pronounce this name. And the reason is, by the way, it's because it was given to us at Ellis Island. It was supposed to be Buckler or something like that. Doesn't matter. Doesn't fucking matter. It's Beekler now. Sorry, that was a long process to lead up to probably one of the most cringe things you ever. And that wasn't the worst acceptance speech. That was just one of them. So we will go over the rest on Friday Night Tights. You know what? I tried to test Az's blood pressure as much as I can. It's a pastime. It's a By the way, I heard I made a list. I heard I made an awesome list. I should probably retweet that. Don't you think? On Clownfish. Hang on. Clownfish tweeted this out. Apparently, I'm Comicsgate. Was not aware of that. Hail Clownfish TV, by the way. Here they are. So, Here's the list, and my internet son's on it. I could not be prouder of him. I really am. So first things first, I'm higher than Geeks and Gamers. Yes. On the white supremacy list, I beat Jeremy. That is saying something. Okay. And Az should definitely be higher. He is way too low. He is a much bigger white supremacist than I am, for sure. And Just Some Guy is the number one white supremacist. He is all about the white power. He should be number one, by the way. But I'd like to say I'm grateful that I made it on the top 5. It's not every day I make it on the top 5 of a list. So I would like to thank the Academy. And I would just like to say that that if you do get into this industry, you will be sexually harassed. They will probably play with your bunghole a little bit. They'll call you the wrong name. They'll call you stuff like bitch and cuck, and you're supposed to answer to it. It's a horrible industry. It really is. Yeah, so this is very small. So this is off some game frequently asked questions message board. Who are the ComicsGate YouTubers? By the way, they missed a bunch of ComicsGate YouTubers. This is disrespect to the actual ComicsGate YouTubers. That's because a bunch of these people are not ComicsGate YouTubers. For one, to have Ethan fucking so low, that's ridiculous. All right, so they're not only bad, they're dumb. So yeah, it says you're okay, boards, comics, graphic novels. Who are the ComicsGate YouTubers? So far, I have a list in order from the most white supremacist, misogynist, toxic. Well, okay, so maybe, okay, so it's a formula. So do you think my toxicity or my misogyny outweighs the supremacy part? Like, what makes me higher than Geeks and Gamers? Is it I think it's my misogyny. Because, I mean, Jeremy does have women on his staff, and I did hire Lady Gravemaster, but I keep her locked in a room, and I only let her talk when I speak to her. So maybe that's why I'm winning so far. And Jeremy's got a lot to learn. I got to say, he's younger than I am. He's got to know how to treat the ladies. And yeah, so apparently top 5, baby. Fuck this shit. All you got to do is laugh about it. I say I don't like Doctor Who. I say things like it's a show that used to be for everyone. And now it's not because it's political, it's partisan, and not just like a partisan liberal. It's a fundamentalist, leftist, liberal, intersectional. It's mostly intersectional. Doctor Who is actually mostly intersectional. Same with Star Trek. And that's the problem I have with it. I didn't have a problem with it before, but I always noticed at my YouTube viewing parties, the skinheads who came to watch Doctor Who, skinheads love Doctor Who and they love Star Trek. Uhura is their favorite in Star Trek, and Captain Jack is their favorite in modern Doctor Who. The skinheads, yeah, such bullshit. This reminds me of the Reddit thread that was written about Bulls Trek and yours truly, and then Doomcock and yours truly. That basically, and Neon gets it right here. So this happened on the game frequently asked questions forums a week ago. Curious timing. All this right after the Whisper Network drama, Tom King versus Jay Lee, etc. Short answer: no, we are not. Nice try keywording to be as searchable by Google as possible, though. That's the motivation behind this. Whether they actually believe these things or not is immaterial. What they're trying to do is make you believe we are, okay, by doing shit like this, because then when you search Clownfish TV, Nerdrotic, Yellow Flash, The Quartering, you're going to see racist right next to it, or white supremacist right next to it, or toxic or misogynist right next to it. Quite frankly, that's probably getting us a lot more views these days. But because people know what's up. They know that, oh, they're being called toxic. They must not be that bad. What are you going to do? You fight fire with fire. That's all you do. So I'm going to keep pointing this shit out. And I hope you have noticed one thing. About a year ago at this time, a lot of us were getting our articles from the Access Media. And we were like going over how stupid they were, or how woke they were. Have you noticed that we haven't been doing that as much lately? I didn't even notice until today. I was like, I can't I think I've done 2 CBR articles this year. I must have did 30 or 40 last year, and I've done 2. I've only gone to Bleeding Cool a couple of times because they're irrelevant. All they're writing is listicles. They're not even writing articles to lure us out anymore because they're in the shitter. And when they do, we ignore it. Because you know what? I'm going to YouTubers for news now, for entertainment news. People in the Phantom Menace, people outside the Phantom Menace. Quite frankly, there's a couple of channels that give the best Lord of the Rings news. So when you see IGN or anybody, even our friends at Bounding Into Comics, they're getting the news from the website I've been going to for 20 years, OneRing.net. The OneRing.net is the best source for Lord of the Rings news, period. There is no better, and they have been entrenched in Lord of the Rings for 2 decades. So there is no website that can do better than they do. So what people do is just watch their live streams and then report on it, which is fine. I'm going to do the same thing. That's what I'm doing here tonight. But I've been watching their live streams for a long time, and I've been going to that website for a long time, and it's run by pretty good guys, and that fandom is really cool. I hope it doesn't get fucked with, but it could. I think it's around the corner, which I'm very sorry to say. But yeah, I was noticing that. Now I have a CBR article up right here. Kelly Sue DeConnick. This is a funny article too. Like, this is the kind of shit I used to love, but they haven't been doing it as much, quite frankly. They just haven't been. It's a little disappointing. Let's get some super chats, shall we? Man, I wonder, am I ghosted yet? They ghosted the Inquisition, man. I was pissed about that. Fucking Doomcock and I were kind of on fire. Our last 3 shows have been really good, if I do say so myself. I had to bail out early because I'm moving. Hang on. I'm just making sure I am not ghosted. Boop-a-doop-a-doop-boop. Sorry, folks. I just log into Nerdrotic Live and then I just run over. Okay, good. Not. All right. Crispy Critters for $2. The No-Go Awards suck. Yeah. So the Hugo Awards, what happened to the Hugos is the Sad Puppies incident, which was essentially the Phantom Menace, Gamergate, Comicsgate. It was falsely labeled as anti-diversity, and it was really anti-SJW, but they lost badly. They took over the voting one year, and then they got flushed out, and then they just abandoned it. They just left. So what happened was the SJWs claimed victory, which they kind of did, but the actual talent left. So this year, during the Hugo Awards, they made a point to only award Best Novel or nominate all women. So they didn't create a female character category. They just said from the get-go, this year we're not voting on any men. We're only going to vote on women. And it was 5 books you never heard of. Now, the Expanse series won an award, but quite frankly, the Expanse, the last two of the 3 last books are SJW as hell. Not going to lie to you, they are. Book 6 and 7, honestly, I can, if you want to know, email me. I'll tell you what chapters you need to read. There's about 4 chapters you need to read in each book. Skip the rest. Go to the last book because it really flies off a cliff. It's frustrating. A book series that was so fucking good for 5 books just went whew, gone. Identity Politics. Fucking Umbrella Academy, which could have been the show of the year. Instead, so far, to me right now, 6.5 out of 10. I mean, half a really good show and the other half just boring. Not bad, though. It's not bad. But we'll see how it ends. I haven't seen the end yet. So, Dreary Nitpicker for $9.99. Hail, Gary, thinking about starting a channel just for fun. That's how I recommend everybody start a channel. Do it as a hobby. If you're going in this trying to make money, it's a little late for that. I mean, it's possible. But yeah, start it out as fun. But you know what? You can take your hobbies seriously. I mean, how many musicians do you know? Tom is out there for Midnight's Edge. How many musicians do you know that take that like it's their day job? I know plenty who are just like they're in a weekend band, but man, it is their life. You could do it like that. Yeah. So I do voices and made a few and people seem to like them. What's good equipment and good video editing? Good luck on the move. Keep us posted. Dreary Nitpicker, always bounce your stuff, especially when you're doing comedy. Always bounce your stuff off people before you go on YouTube. Like always. But no, okay. So I would not, you don't have to break the bank on this one. I've always said, find a good mic. I would use you want to use, so I find the Rode Podcaster, and it's a USB mic, but it's a little more expensive. There's cheaper ones out there, but that's the one I like because it balances your sound. It does everything you need to do. All you have to do is plug it in. And it's the white version of this one. I have the black one now. Because black is king. So yeah, and just you can get a Logitech 9, is it a 920? The 920 camera at first. That one works just fine. It works good on streams, and it's good enough for now. You can get like 1080p out of it and you're fine. And then go from there. I need to make my own CalEXIT. Both of my grandparents have passed away, so I have nothing here. Perfect time to get away from the madness. I'm thinking Texas, Arizona. I love guns, and Cali cramps my style. Hail! Dreary Nitpicker for $9.99. Yeah. Arizona, just don't vote like a Californian. That's what everybody's been saying to me. The country. So the reason I'm going to San Diego is because my mom is down there. My older sister is down there. My father-in-law is down there, and then a bunch of our friends that we grew up with. And dude, we're all planning on leaving. So we're going to take everybody with us, like the moms and dads and everybody. They're coming with us. Maybe we'll live on, we'll do it like 1800 style and just live in some big house together. I don't know. God damn, the preppers had it right, didn't they? Sons of a bitch. Hail, Gary. I'm not hip to comics, but I love good science fiction, and I love your podcast, Friday Night Tights and the Inquisition. Where we go one, we go all. Hail. Red Cell 6A. I appreciate that for $5. The live streaming. Oh, listen, as soon as the beer bug started, I amped up my live streaming. And I told you guys I was going to do that. I said, I will live stream more. I will be making less videos. And I produce more live streams than I do videos right now. Kai, what's up? Kai MFS for $10. So sorry about your wife's salon. Sad to see you leaving Cali. You sure it isn't just Northern California that sucks? SoCal is pretty chill. I mean, Ryan lives there, right? Yes, SoCal is chill. That's where I'm heading. That's where I'm from. But it's still California, and it's still under the control of Chairman Newsom, ultimately. While San Diego does try to resist as much as possible, and they would open up earlier than San Francisco would, and that's why we're moving down there directly. Because it's just, it's just a temporary place to go. It's a big deal. You guys know this. Moving out of state, moving to a place I have, never lived before. I have been to a ton of places. I've spent a lot of time in other states, so I kind of know what's up, but it's something you got to think about. I mean, leaving California, for one, you're going to be saving a ton of money. That's great, but like the weather here is perfect. It's utterly perfect. There's no freaking tornadoes, no big storms. Gets a little hot once in a while. The only thing in SoCal that's crazy is the fires, the fire season. May the wind be at your back, Gary. Happy moving. Thanks, Leon K, for $2.99, and thanks for listening to that. I was had to get it off my chest, and I know that's not why people come here. I know that's we come here for escapism. We come here to have a little fun, have a little laugh at Hollywood's expense, and that's what I'll continue doing. I promise. And this is not going to distract from that. As a matter of fact, this has strengthened my resolve. And another thing is, Melissa is not the kind of person who's a victim. She'll be sad. She'll be genuinely sad for like a little while. Then she's over it. She's completely over it and on to the next mission. And that's what she did. She, while I've been live streaming and stuff, she's been figuring all this stuff out. So she's brilliant. Much love to you both, says David A. Scoveda. Thank you, David. I appreciate that. Right back at you for $4.99. Jedi Knight Wing for $5. Gary, my man, hope things get better for you. My good man, also, you should have your wife introduce me to some of those supermodels. Absolutely. Sure thing. Oh, yeah, she knows. Yeah. Well, the beauty industry, I mean, it's the beauty industry. There's a lot of beautiful people. California has gone full tard. Agreed. And you never go full tard. Working for the public is hell right now. Don't trust the MSM. Never, Drew Nitpicker. Never. Mr. Insanity for $4.99. Hail and thank you. There is common sense route here. Effing politics just make it a needle in a haystack in a blizzard to find. Yep, Mr. Insanity, and we have had long discussions about this on my member stream. Thank you for the $4.99. Never said the beer bug wasn't real. Never said that. It's real. People are getting sick. People have died. It sucks. It's not America's fault, as far as I know. But we still need to work. We still need to work because, oh, fuck it. I'm just going to say it. I don't care. Okay. If we don't get back to work, then we will be in a depression. And if we do get into a depression, I just want you to go look back in history and see what happens to every country. What's the fucking difference? That goes into a depression and how they get out of it. And I would really like to avoid a war. I don't want to live through a major conflict, but that's where it will lead. There are people who probably want that. I don't know who that could be. So the one thing I am very, I don't know anybody who's pro-war. I'm very anti-war. But that's like saying, I'm very anti-killing. It's like I'm very anti-puppies dying. Same thing. Very obvious statement, but that's where we're headed if we don't shape up, and if we don't get our fucking asses back to work. Other places are starting to get back to work. Oh, and by the way, the numbers spiked up, whether it was real or not. Again, I have no fucking idea. I have no clue if the numbers were real or not. But there was thousands of people crawling all over each other to burn down businesses a couple of months ago or a month ago, and that caused the numbers to go up, and that caused the states to close back down. So that was the direct consequences. Somebody decided one day that they wanted to riot and loot and burn down businesses, and they ended up damaging more businesses later to get their yayas out, to get whatever they needed to get out. By the way, the kind of person who would do that is not the kind of person who is going to be helpful to a society in the long run. The kind of person who's got the morals of, hey, I have an opportunity And that opportunity is to burn down somebody else's property. Let's go do it. That's not a good person. There's no righteous anger that can back that shit up. You might be able to rationalize it in your head. You know what? I'm an ex-drug addict. I was able to rationalize ripping $20 off from my mom to go get a bunch of coke. Just because you can rationalize it doesn't make it right. Gary, FYI, Luke Rodowski of We Are Change recently left New York City because of high living costs and the increasingly radical politics that runs the city. Hail. Yeah, and that's why I'm leaving. Radical politics that are running the city. I'm just, I guess I'm not into radical politics. Oh, hi there, handsome, says Toe of Visenya for $2 Australian. Well, hello there. Hello. Who are you calling handsome? Not me. Maybe Christopher Eccleston statue right there. Mr. Fish's alternate reality for $10 Australian. Victoria is locked down completely. Yeah. So if you guys don't know, as much as I'm bitching about California being locked down, think of your brothers and sisters. Think of both genders in Australia. Okay. Think of our brothers and sisters in Australia. The states are locked down, but not just that, the borders are locked down. You can't even go in between states. Now, if they tried that here in America, the first thing I would do is drive across the border. I'm that kind of an asshole. I would do it. And I could totally see them trying to do that, and you would see like the Hells Angels, like all try to go across the border all at once or something like that. Something like that would happen. Yeah, so you can't travel in between states, apparently. And if you're in Melbourne, what was it? Lethal Lightning was giving me shit. Melbourne. Is it Melbourne? I'm going to say Melbourne because I'm an American. You're locked down. That whole city is locked down. Now, Lethal Lightning says that's a good thing, but why would I argue with him? But the whole city's locked down. You can't leave the city. Holy shit. That is scary, draconian, and I don't care how much there's a spike. That is fucking crazy. And we're now 6 months into this. How much longer are we going to put up with it? You know, I mean, I'm done. That's why I'm leaving. I'm done. And I'm going to live my life as free as I want to be. You know, I'll wear a mask. I'll wear a fucking mask. I'm not going to listen. I don't like them telling me to wear a mask. I'm okay with the asking. If you ask me to wear a mask, certainly no problem. If you start mandating and threatening to fine, the asshole in me is going to not wear a mask. I'm telling you, it's my asshole will overtake common sense because you're telling me to do something. It's, you know, listen, you're going to get the same amount of people wearing a mask if you asked, if you told. It's not going to change. So just stick with the asking thing. I agree with Ripa on the mask issue. Now, I am personally going to wear one just, just because it doesn't make that much of a difference, honestly. And honestly, in San Francisco, it's freaking cold out. So when you wear your mask, it's kind of warm on your face. I was out there taking a walk with Nerdrotic Jr., and it's 58 degrees. The point of the second wave is to make sure any savings people have left is wiped out. That's a good one. No, I'm a conspiracy guy. But there's a point, Reversio Amino. Sorry if I messed up your first name for $5. There's a point where conspiracy just becomes news. Melissa, we're doing okay, but it sucks because we went into what we were gonna. This school Logan was gonna be in had a fucking massive tuition, but it was worth it. It was worth it, dude. It's my kid. And we had to go into that a little bit, but that's okay. I mean, that's fine. It could be much worse. It could be much worse. If this thing hit
in 2013 when I was just getting off like a 6-month coke bender, and I had relapsed, and I sold my store, and I had like $5 to my name, and my wife kicked me out of the house, and I had to live in a sober living environment for a month. Yeah, that would suck. That would suck. And that's the thing I'm kind of worried about too is, I don't have any sponsees right now, but I heard people in recovery. I mean, a lot of people went back out. There's no meetings. There's Zoom meetings, and it's not the same. It's not the same. So there have been secret meetings, by the way. So we meet in secret, and that's what I've been kind of doing. We practice our social distancing, and we wear a mask, and we run a little meeting with 5 people. It works. Destiny Captain for $4.99. Gary, you're going to start doing shows with the green screen and still have the background. Also, thanks for being there. The last 2 months sucked. What? You lost, it just says lost son. What does that mean, Destiny Captain? Email me on that one, okay? Please email me on that one. I need context to that, please. I hope that's a typo. The last 2 months have sucked for a lot of people. And yes, I have a green screen. So there will be this background for a little while, and then you're going to have my new extravagant background. Miguel Olmo for $99.99. Holy crap. Sorry to hear this, man. Here are some shekels. Never lose hope, my friend. As a brave hobbit once said, it's the darkest before the dawn. Stay safe. Oh, I will never lose hope. Miguel, thank you so much. I hope I don't sound like that. I am fired up, actually. No, I don't do the hopeless thing. Even now, even during the beer bug, it's not like life has sucked. Things have been bad the last couple of months. The last month in particular, a lot of unfortunate things happened, but I just listened to my sponsor, and it sounds like a broken record, and it sounds, I don't know, kind of cliche, but it's true. Every time something happens, he goes, it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity. Everything's an opportunity. It's just on how you look at it. And I'm like, you sound like a fucking bumper sticker or some shit when you walk into a sobriety store. You sound like one of the cliche signs they put in the fucking wall. He's all, I know, but I'm fucking right. And he is. Smart dude. So this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity to try something new, go on a new adventure. And I think this could definitely turn out to be a good thing, getting my son out of the California curriculum. I told you guys on a nooner 6-7 months ago, I had to have a little parent-teacher conference of my own because they were having my kid for his creative writing. He had to write about his white privilege. So yeah, that triggered me like an SJW at church. And I went to talk to the teacher, and I just said, listen, not everybody, we're not all leftists here. And that's the words I used. I know you probably have a lot of parents that agree with you. Don't assume everyone does. Don't assume anybody's politics, and try not to impress them on my kid, please. Otherwise, I'll just pull them out of the class. It's that simple. So my kid will be doing creative writing. He will write his own original story, and you will grade it. Okay. And the teacher said, okay. So I was way meaner than that though. I full on dad mode. That shit triggered me. That pissed me off. And I explained to him, I'm like, why? I mean, my son, he's on the spectrum. Okay. So this white privilege, he's not going to completely get the nuance of what you're talking about. And then I have to explain the other side. And, that's where me and the teacher went back and forth because he didn't think there was another side. He's all, well, that's just assumed on your part. Well, no. See, we're all individuals. So white privilege is a construct. It's a myth. Okay. It's based on your political point of view. It's based on an argument that you received from somebody else. and it doesn't actually exist. Now, is life unfair? Sure. Is it more fair to some people? But it mostly has to do with how much money you have in the bank than anything else. You see, when I went to jail with all the poor people because my dad got me a lawyer once, got me off, said, you go and do that shit again, you're on your fucking own. I went and did that shit again. I was kicked out. I was on my own. Then I became a poor person because I had no money. And then I received the same treatment that any poor person would receive from the system, which was none at all. I got the dump truck attorney. I got the maximum amount, whatever deal. I got bent over by the DA and I had to accept whatever deal they want because I had no money to fight them. And that's it. Anas Abdeen doesn't have a lot of money. He is not a citizen of the United States. He lives in Kuwait. He had his game stolen by Alex Kurtzman. Alex Kurtzman stole his fucking game. Not even going to say my opinion anymore. I don't give a shit. And put it in Star Trek Discovery Season 1. He got fucked over because he didn't have enough money. It's not just because it would have helped if he was an American citizen, but not much. If you're an American citizen with no money, CBS is still going to fuck you over. Oh, and man, Anas is not white, but CBS had no problem fucking him over. But that goes against all the principles of Gene Roddenberry and Star Trek. Oh, because they don't give a shit. And that's not the only thing Mass Effect, we can go on and on how much Alex Kurtzman has ripped off people. And if you go watch his other work, you can see that he's ripped off people there. That's kind of his thing. And he gets away with it because he works for a company with a lot of money. So it's an economic thing. It's purely an economic thing. Don't choose Austin. Oh, fuck no, John. Oh, God, no. Oh, God. Again, Miguel, thank you. Again, thank you for the $99.99. I am not going to San Francisco, Texas. I know there's a Frisco, Texas, but I'm not going to San Francisco, Texas. Why on fucking earth would I move from one place and go to the same place? I might as well move to Seattle. No cities. No fucking cities. I was even flirting with the idea of moving in small town Midwest, but I hate snow. I can't do the snow, man. That one business guy who started in Portland moved to Seattle and then said he was moving to Texas and chose Austin. What an idiot. I know, John. There's another guy. He co-hosts with Mike Barra. I think if you know what show I'm talking about, it's kind of a fringy show. It talks about Q, but not this Q. So yeah, that guy moved out of LA to Austin. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? You don't move to Austin. No, I'm not going to, I have friends who live in Austin who I love dearly, but I'm not going to live there. I'll go visit them, but I'm not going to live there. It's like the liberal funky towns were fine when things weren't hyper political. There's the best record stores, there's Amoeba Records here. The comic stores are usually really good. The bookstores are good. There's a price you pay though. There's going to be a bunch of homeless people, hippies begging money off you for dope. You're going to get your car broken into a lot. There's a trade-off. Not anymore, though. You know what? I'll get my shit on eBay. Daniel Nolan, my neighbor. Oh, I'm gonna miss you, brother. We'll meet before I go. Okay. What? Okay. I'll text you, man. I'll message you because we can go meet at Pete's. There's at least outdoor sitting there, and we can go have a coffee there. I'm a dog walker, and there is a $5,000 fine for group dog walking during the beer bug. What was the hair salon fine? I don't know what the fine was. I'll have to ask Melissa. It was thousands. It was thousands, but it was per day. So it might not have been I think it was like $1,000 a day, but I think that's a statewide fine. It's $1,000 a day or something like that. Scipio for $10. Vote Trump. Even if you hate him, it costs nothing since he won't win. But I'd love to see him get enough California votes during a political shutdown that it gets noticed. I might. Sure. I really don't give a shit what people think. I mean, if you've been around the channel long enough, you know. Yeah, there's things you would agree with me on politically and things you would probably vehemently disagree with me on. Gay marriage is great. I think it's great. I think it is long overdue. Long overdue. Yeah, I think you should be able to go to a gay marriage packing your concealed weapon while not paying very many taxes. I think that's kind of my politics wrapped up into one. Muerte Anusueda for $20 says Mike S. Miller's The Magnificent Seven closes in 2 hours on Indiegogo, but now back now for a digital copy and read it now. Have they stopped shadow banning it? Muerte, did they stop shadow banning it? Let me see. Oh, it goes right to Cecil. I hit Indiegogo and it goes right to Cecil. Hail Cecil, by the way. He was a great guest the other night. Fucking love Cecil. Let's go. Mag. Here, that should be enough. Nope. Oh, yeah. If you just put in mag, it won't. You have to like spell it out. Yeah, you actually have to spell it out. That's pretty fucked up. So let me, I also spell pretty shitty. So, that might have something to do with it. Let me see. I'll try this again. Now it comes up 32,000. That's not bad. That's pretty good, man. That's pretty good. I feel bad for Billy Tucci because while his crowdfunding is doing good, it's dynamite, and I would have bought this book. I would have bought the shit out of this book, and I can't, man. I can't give Dynamite money. Billy, if there's a way if Billy Tucci's out there, I know because he's always watching my show. If there's a way I can like slip you some money and you could slip me the book without Dynamite getting any money, love to do it. I'd love to do it. I'll review it. I'll do whatever. I want to pay you, but I don't want to pay them. Sorry. Can't pay kneelers. Can't pay the fucking kneelers. God, Dynamite's so fucking stupid. Look what they did. Your award for leaving California. I hope you have much success after moving to America, says Ed Powell for $50. Yes. That's good. Drake is 6. Hey, Gary, I wish I could join you leaving California, but you got to do what works for your family. Fook the main urine stream news media. Yep. I don't want to. Dude, look at this room. Do you think I want to move this room? Are you fucking kidding me? It took me years to put this room together. And now I'm going to have to re-put a new one together in like a week. I don't even know how I'm going to do it. The walls in this place are plaster, so I have to get, I'm getting cork to put on the walls, but there's a colored cork, so it'll make it easier to stick the action figures up. I have no idea. I don't know. The one great thing about getting out of fucking San Francisco is you can't get a handyman here to save your life. You can't get somebody to work on your garden unless you're uber rich. They won't even answer the phone. I shit you not. If you want to get a handyman to fix something electrical, you're on a waiting list and it takes a month. There's high demand for them, and the rich people and they also don't like coming into the city because they get fucked over all the time. So yeah, it's really everything's a kind of a pain in the ass. So I'm not going to be sorry that's gone. It jumped. It jumped. Dead Patriot. These are the times that try men's souls. Huge fan. Listen to you in Baghdad. Holy shit, for real? Just got home. No way, Dead Patriot. Just got home. Keep up the good work. Get out of commie California. Dude, you were in Baghdad? I want to hear that story. Oh, you know what kills me, Dead Patriot, is fucking ISIS destroying all of the ancient stonework, all the temple work, all the Sumerian, like those giant like those, I forgot what they're called. But the guys with the they're not a sphinx, but it's the guys with the beard with like the dog bodies or lion bodies, and they were just drilling those things and blowing them up, and the ziggurats got destroyed. That fucking killed me to see that shit. That stuff was, I mean, they have no idea how old it was. They think it was 6,000, but chances are it was like much, much older, and they fucking blew it all up. And guess what? That's what's going on here right now. Jury Nitpicker for $4.99. Gary, I thought you knew that all white men live on yachts and have houses on Martha's Vineyard, don't you? I guess you didn't get the memo. I didn't. I was kicked out of the club, Drury, long time ago. Rich, thank you for the £5. Appreciate you. Logan for Liberty. I like that, for $10. My little brother spent 13 years going to school in Portland, Oregon. It's not California, but it's still Portland. Good luck with the move. Hope for the best for your son and the rest of your family. Yeah, Portland, huh? I have a good friend who lives up there. Now, I haven't spoken to this good friend in years. I think we're still good friends. We didn't get mad at each other. We just kind of drifted apart. His name is JD. I wonder if JD knows I'm on YouTube. Probably doesn't even know. He was a chef up at the Marriott, I think. But I lived in his house after I got kicked out of my house. I lived in his house, and it was like the punk rock wayward house where his dad was always gone working at the bar. And when he was home, he was passed out because he was an alcoholic. So all these punk rockers and runaway girls would come over to his house, and we just party every fucking day. And yeah, he let me live there. I just had to, I kept everybody supplied with the good shit, and I had a place to live. I learned how to be an entrepreneur when I was 15 years old. But he lives in Portland. Destiny Captain for $1.99 sent an email. Okay, I will read it, my friend. Thank you, Destiny Captain. I hope you're okay. Good dude there. Saw him in Vegas. We'll keep holding it down in the Bay Area for you, Nerdrotic. Thank you, McKinney90. I know I can count on you. And hell, I'm not going to be able to sell my house anytime soon. So my son will be staying up here while he finishes his training, because my son is learning to code. Believe it or not, he's learning to code. Go figure. Raptor Jesus for $2. Hail, Gary. Quick PA. Doxing is bad. Okay. Quick public service announcement. Doxing is bad. Okay. Yes. Doxing is bad. Did somebody dox somebody? Raptor Jesus for $2. Yeah, it is. I dox myself. But it doesn't matter because the business is closed now. People did go after her business, though. There were people trying to go after the Yelp reviews and all kinds of shit because of my views on Captain Marvel or Doctor Who. Most definitely. NK33 for $2. Yeah, doxing is lame. Do not dox if you don't want to. Now, I'm an open book, so I don't know. You know what? I don't blame anyone for wanting to stay anonymous and not wanting to put up with the shit. Especially, like that umbrella guys put up with a lot of shit. But I don't know. I think being out there makes them less likely to come after you because, and maybe it's just because I'm tame. I'm pretty tame comparatively to other people, for sure. But nobody's ever, They've gone after my wife's reputation a little bit from a couple of tweets. But nothing bad. Nothing bad at all. I mean, I'm not very hard to find right now. Now, I'm going to correct that mistake. So once I move, you won't be able to find my address as easy as you can now. But yeah, I haven't noticed anything. So I'm thankful for that. Born and raised in Oakland. God, I miss Amoeba and Rasputins. Oh, Shaolin Wright. What's up for $5? Yes. Oh, Rasputin's. I haven't been to Rasputin's in forever. I don't know if it's even still there, to be honest with you. I know Amoeba was still there last time I checked. I don't know if it's still there now. It's been a while since I've been. It's probably been a couple of years since I've been to Amoeba. I think the last time I went there was when I went to the guitar shop on Haight Street to go pick up my Rickenbacker. My Rickenbacker bass. Is Yaz Jody still a better romance than Twilight? NK33 for $2. If they actually had sex, like in a porn way, maybe. But no, they're not. It's going to be, I don't know, man. I'm going to say something that might sound a little crazy, but I think I'd rather watch Twilight than Yaz and Jody Doctor Who. Because at least I can laugh at Twilight. Glowy vampires playing baseball. It's pretty fucking funny. You know what? I've seen all those movies. I've seen them all. I can't say I remember a lot of them. I think Mrs. Nerdrotic said I slept through one of them. To the point where I might have been sawing some logs a little bit, but not sorry. Avoid taking religion, politics, and the Great Pumpkin, says R. Fletch for $5. I will. I will definitely not take the Great Pumpkin. Vote Terrence Von Higginbottom on your ballot. I most definitely will vote Terrence Von Higginbottom. Thank you very much. Gray Ghost for $2. Robert Meza. If Democrats to get rid of the filibuster and bring in DC and Puerto Rico as Democratic states and make them Green New Deal, the law of the land, where do you see things going in 2024? If the Democrats get rid of the filibuster and bring in DC, Washington, DC, and Puerto Rico as Democratic states and make the Green New Deal the law of the land, where do you see things going in 2024? Oh man. For one, not all of those things would happen. They're not. So that's like a Democratic wet dream for that to happen, but you would have to take one thing at a time. Getting rid of the filibuster would be something Democrats would regret immediately because the Democrats have used the filibuster a lot. That's why they don't get rid of it. The thing is, the danger is, here is the biggest danger of them all, is everything that you let the other side get away with, your enemy will be able to get away with it in the future. That's why it was always good to have the checks and balances. I think it's very, very good we have two parties. I wish we had more, to be honest with you, because I think it strikes a balance. And that balance, it sways a little bit. Things go a little left, things go a little right. But generally, those of us in the middle, we're cool. You know what? Not always going to love my president. Don't care. Don't really give a fuck. If the president loses, if the president I preferred loses, there's never one I'm outright rooting for because I just not. You know what? I get over it in a single day. Not even that. I'm like, okay, who cares? There are millions of people who haven't gotten over the Orange Man, and the Orange Man was made into a much bigger boogeyman than he actually was. And it turns out that the reaction towards him has been much, much worse. And you've made more Orange Man voters by the reaction instead of acting like adults, taking one on the chin, trying to win it next time. So now, when you eventually win the White House back, because you will, because the Orange Man isn't going to be a dictator and he'll leave after probably his second election, then you'll be the ones wanting to change the electoral vote and do all this draconian shit. So yeah. So as far as Puerto Rico becoming a state, they don't want to become a state. I think that's the last time I checked. Puerto Rico didn't want to become a state. Washington, D.C., I don't think it should be a state. I think it should just be part of Maryland. I mean, why in the fuck make it a state? I don't think that's a good idea at all. I think California, I think you can balance that by breaking California into 3. And if you break California into 3, you would most definitely get one piece of it going, at least being a swing state. Look at California county-wise. Look at it county-wise. It might blow your mind a little bit. And as far as the Green New Deal, you mean like taxing? I don't know enough about it. I hate it. I'm anything that brings more tax in, I'm against. Period. We're overtaxed. Hey man, a little cheddar for the moving boxes. Stay strong. Best time is now for $49.99. Thank you, and I will use it towards moving boxes. We have been using a lot of moving boxes. Thank you. Thank you. I wonder if Mrs. Nerdrotic, are you listening? I don't know if you're in the chat or not. I told you I was going to go live. She's probably asleep, though. Geck, 812 for $5 For move, may the road rise to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. The rain fall soft upon your fields. Ah. You know, it's funny. Gake A12? That is in the Lord of the Rings radio drama, which by the BBC, which is one of my favorite things ever. I obsessively listen to it. I promise you guys, I will do a video on how much I love them. Nobody's going to watch it, but I love the Lord of the Rings radio drama with Sir Ian Holm. And it's been a little harder to listen to now that he's passed. He plays Frodo, of course. He's freaking brilliant in it. But they have Elrond saying only part of that line. So when the fellowship is off, he just walks up and goes, "May the sun shine upon your face." And that's it. He's like, okay. It's funny. Maybe I'm the only one who laughs at that. Connor Doherty for $2. Hail, Gary. Much respect from Ireland. Oh, hell yeah. Hail, Ireland. That's where Noel is. Good morning from Norway. Oh, Norwegian Kryptonian for 22 Norwegian krona. Good morning. That's not Norway, but you know what I mean. All you Scandinavian people are the same to me. Hail, Gary. No, it's good to see you, Norwegian Kryptonian. You guys have your shit together up there, though. You really do. Hail, Gary. You are awesome. Sucks to see you go. I'm from Sacramento, and I can't wait to move out of California, too. Hope it all works out for you. Cloud 61592 for $4.99. Sac isn't that bad. I like Sac. It's very, it's not too big of a city, and it's not as crazy as San Francisco. But yeah, I'm sorry to be going too, but I also can't wait to get the hell out of here. NG1 Teeve, thank you for the super sticker for $5. I appreciate you. Angsel 493 for $20. I had a YouTube channel, kind of still have, about comics. I haven't uploaded anything for a long while due to disappointment in the industry, but your call for replacements has inspired me to come back. Not sure how to do it though. Well, okay, you got a part 2 there. Well, let's jump to part 2 for another $20. Any advice on refinding my voice? And anyway, I truly believe no one will ever be able to replace you. That's why we love you. I wish you the best on the move, to you and Mrs. Nerdrotic. Thank you very much, Angsel493. Finding your voice is an interesting thing because it's still a process. I would go back and look at your old material, find out what worked, what didn't. There's nothing wrong with going over your old material, look at your analytics and see what your most popular video was, and then try to pick that apart. In the meantime, you just start. You're finding your voice isn't something you can just, I'm going to find my voice today. Oh, there it is. There's my voice. It was under my keys. No, it's a process. Finding your voice is just getting enough practice to be confident and not be afraid to say certain things. There's stuff I still hold back on. Not too sure I'm going to hold back on it much longer. Thankfully, other YouTubers can push the boundaries too, and I see them pushing the boundaries. I'm all, well, if they can say it, I can say it. Fuck it. So you're going to see a little bit of a change there. The fact of the matter is that politics will be unavoidable. So what I will promise to do is I'm not a partisan person, so I'll never be partisan. I'll never fully choose a side. I'm not going to like go and become Mr. Conservative, tomorrow, because again, I don't know really what it even means to be conservative anymore. I think it's fractured since the Orange Man. And I think there's like neocon, and there's this new one. Remember, I don't know where the origins of alt-right came from, but when I first heard it, I thought it was just an alternative to the right. I thought it was more of a kind of a more modernized conservative, but maybe that's what it started, and then it got falsely labeled by the left. I don't know what happened to the labeling, but it went, obviously. It's not good to be labeled alt-right anymore, and whether that's fair or not doesn't really matter. It's not a good thing to be labeled. But and of course there's the libertarian, and I think the future is a look at people like Young Ripa. Young Ripa. I would say my politics are closest to his. If I have if something that's definable, my politics are probably pretty close to Young Ripa. Not exact, but pretty freaking close. We agree on a lot of shit. So yeah, and maybe there's a future in that. Like I said, I hope there's more than two parties. I hope there's 3 or 4, and we can strike a new balance. And that would also water down the extremism a little bit. Maybe put them off into a corner. Because it's not the end of the world if your side loses. But like right now, we're in such a pitched battle that it is important. I think it's really important that the philosophy that is backing up my city in California right now not win right now until things. I don't want an extreme version of anything winning right now. And I don't know, again, what the truth is. There's a lot of, there's a lot of puppeteering going on with and that's something I'm going to talk about in the Exozone. Like I don't feel free to talk about something like the deep state, I could probably potentially get my channel in trouble. So I talk about it on my alternate channel, and we can get into it there. And this is something I used to talk about for fun. It was kind of like, conspiracy talk. It was kind of fun. Art Bell stuff. Did I take it that seriously? I don't know. Now I do. Grandpappy Fisk for $5. I have a theory. The master will become a woman again and be forgiven for all her crimes, and her, Jody, and Yaz will get together after ending racism. And you forgot, Grandpappy Fisk, go out dancing. For $5, I think that's the plot of Doctor Who 13, Series 13. By the way, let's talk about this real quick. So there was a tweet by BBC America, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, Doctor Who people. A bunch of people tweeted it at me, and it essentially showed Jodie, and it said, more to come. So somebody said, well, obviously that means that Jodie and Chris Chibnall have been re-upped, and we're going to get a season 14 and 15. Well, no. As far as I know, season 14 and 15 were going to happen anyway, and that was part of the HBO Max deal. I don't know if HBO Max and Warner Brothers had anything to do with funding that, probably, but I know that there was supposed to be a season 14 and 15. Now, the person who told me about the details of The Timeless Child told me this. And this is a while ago. This is a few months ago. This person said that this is Jodie Whittaker's last year and Chibnall is out too. The writing is on the wall. while they like Chibnall and they like Jody, they are aware that the public does not. And it's much worse than you think, by the way, because the only thing they have going for them is iPlayer views. And I've already gone over in a couple of videos how those things are bullshit. iPlayer views are judged the same way YouTube views are chosen. So while that's fine for a 10-minute video, if somebody comes and watches 50% of it, 30% of it, it counts as a view, or 20% of it. When they watch 20% of your hour-long drama, they're not watching the whole thing, but they count that as a view. So these shitty ratings that Doctor Who had are much, much worse. Because if you take those iPlayer views that they add on to every rating, 30% of those, 30% is the actual number of people watching the whole show. So they add like 1 million, say 3 million people watched an episode overnight. They take the iPlayer and they add 1 million. Of those million, only 300,000 people really watched the show. And 700,000 dipped in and dipped out. So things are much worse. Plus, they're not selling shit. Anything with Jodie on it just doesn't sell. Anything without Jodie on it sells just fine. What's the retail place? I want to say B&E, but I know that's not it. I'm thinking of Breaking and Entering, but B&H. B&H has these exclusive Doctor Who things. If it's not Jodie, the shit sells, and it has a good secondary market on eBay. Anything with Jodie on it, discount rack, automatically discount rack. It's bad. It is bad, and the only reason they don't cancel it is fear. Fucking fear. So my guess, and this is just my guess, is they'll get commissioned for another series, maybe 2 or 3, and they'll have the final Doctor. I don't know how you can't turn this thing around. They still believe that they can turn this thing around. That's the thing, is they believe that they've got it in their head that it's bad press. This is what I've heard, by the way. This is just what I've heard. I don't know if this is I can't give too many details. So the person I've talked to, I've known for years, is a very honest, nice person, and I will have this person on the show someday, if and when they quit their job and if they're not under an NDA. They have agreed to come on if they can't get in any trouble. I will bring this person on the show. But according to this person, when you hear that editorially they love Doctor Who, that's not a lie. They're fucking in love with the show. They think it's bad press and YouTubers. They really think that we're like poisoning the show for it. Like, they don't realize like it's their shitty writing like that make people hate the show. I have no influence over that show at all. I have no influence over anyone. The worst damage they can do is just have somebody see that bullshit. Same with Star Trek. So, but no, they have themselves believing that it's the fans' fault, essentially. That they don't understand. They're a bunch of, plebs, a bunch of cretins, unevolved masses. Groups, whether they be fan groups or support groups, there's always 1 or 2 people who, for some reason, want to dislike you and or be difficult. How does one deal with such people? Ask Stetson's Gold for 10 pounds. I don't know what the specifics are. I mean, if it's just one person who's kind of annoying you, it depends. It depends on how much they're annoying you. I believe in practicing good boundaries. If you're, say, in a group like my chat and there's somebody who's bothering you, just talk to them, hit them up going, now, if it's a troll, you'll find out immediately because they'll just ramp up bothering you. But maybe you can chat somewhere else, go, hey, what's up? I just ask directly what's wrong. That's the best approach. You might not always get the answer you want. You might get a troll throwing you shade or whatever, but I believe in the direct approach and practicing good boundaries. Passive-aggressive behavior makes me fucking crazy. It does. But no, not everybody's going to get along in a group. They're not. And you can either just separate and talk to who you want to talk to, or, yeah. And if it becomes a problem, then I need to know about it. If it's pissing off a lot of people, I need to know about it. Douglas Nelson for $5. Here's 5 as the Orville season 5. Don't know if you're considering Louisiana, but you and yours are more than welcome here. You know what? I haven't thought about the South. I thought about the Carolinas a little bit. Maybe Louisiana. I don't know, man. I mean, not New Orleans. Definitely not New Orleans. Not a city. I'd like to go visit New Orleans, but yeah. But yeah, as far as support groups and stuff like that, yeah, Stetson, there's people in the AA meetings I don't like. There's people who try to politicize fucking AA meetings. That makes me crazy. And you know what I do? After the meeting, I say, hey, could you try not to politicize the meeting? I didn't come here to listen to how much you hate the Orange Man. I'm here to recover from alcohol, and the Orange Man has nothing to do with our alcoholism. So, yeah, that's just a specific. If they complained about, somebody even I didn't like, I would tell them to shut up, If they were complaining about Chuck Schumer or freaking Gavin Newsom, I'd still tell them to shut up in a nice way, in the nicest way possible, because you're not supposed to use AA for politics. They're trying, though. They are trying. And it's been a miracle that AA hasn't been overrun. But that's part of, it's actually part of that's why it works, because it doesn't have any leaders, no dues or fees, no leaders. We are not a political organization. We are not affiliated with any of that. It's good. It's a good thing. Cisco Kid for $20. Hail to the Moving Fund. Thank you. Thank you, Cisco Kid. You're probably not a kid, are you? I appreciate the $20. Hail, Gary. Aaron Godbra. Hail, Gary. Aaron Godbrow heard one of the crowdfunding sites was going to pull a whole Inquisition bit. Something that hates Ethan stopped it anyway. CM Shazam, I'm trying to make sense of that. So, hail, Gary. Aaron Godbra heard one of the crowdfunding sites was going to pull a whole Inquisition bit. You mean like you mean like start questioning people on the crowdfunding? They were going to go full SJW, like Kickstarter, like Indiegogo. Someone that hates Ethan stopped it anyway. So somebody who hates Ethan stopped I need to know a little more details on that one. So what you're saying is Indiegogo almost went SJW, but somebody stopped it, and it's somebody who doesn't like Ethan Van Sciver. Okay, cool. Glad it didn't happen. I'm surprised they haven't gone after, I'm sure they have gone after Indiegogo, and they just can't go after Indiegogo. And that's good. Indiegogo needs to stand firm. Last time I heard are they in San Francisco? Where are they located? Yep, they are in San Francisco. Indiegogo is an American crowdfunding website founded in 2008 by Danae Ringelman and Slava Rubin and Eric Schell. Its headquarters are in San Francisco, California. The site is one of the first sites to offer crowdfunding. Where are they located? Here in San Francisco. Oh, Indiegogo's right next to the Barbary Coast Cannabis Dispensary and Delivery. Well, look at that. That's always good. Indiegogo is probably getting stoned all the time. Let's see what their building looks like. And there you go. Here we go. We can take a look. I know what this is. Oh, I'm going to use my Stream Deck. Sorry. Oh, yes. That's the wrong window, though. That's the wrong window. Hang on. that's not it. That's the chat. That's Davi. Where's the... How come it's not? Hang on. Where's my Odin voice when I need it? I can't figure out the web page on this one. Oh, no. Oh, shit. I didn't want to do that either. Hang on. There we go. There we go. So that's Indiegogo right there. That is, oh shit, why do I want to look at the ceiling? I mean, there we go. That's an awful lot of, they look like they're 10. That has to be like a high school going to Indiegogo. So that is definitely downtown. Oh, it's on Mission. Oh shit. That's like, I'd say, where am I? 2400 block of Mission. So it's 20 blocks away from my house. That's pretty freaking far. My house is way up that road. I'm doxing myself totally right now. But there's Indiegogo. It's a pretty nice building. Goodbye, San Francisco. There you go. There's the Salesforce building. See that big one right there? They just opened that up. It's the tallest building on the West Coast. It's also right above, if an earthquake hit, all the ground under the Salesforce building would do the liquefaction thing, because it's all rubble from the last earthquake that was built out into the bay. It was like the dumbest place to put a building, but oh well. This is Mission. Yep, this is Mission. Oh, look at that. A rare sunny day. How did I get on 5th? That's weird. Didn't mean to get on 5th. Yeah, this is oh, look at that. There we go. City Hall. So if you go in this building right here, oh, it's not City Hall. Is that the Opera Building? That's close to City Hall though. And yeah. What a trip. I was looking for the Armory because that's where that porn place used to be too. But yeah, that's so Kelly Sue DeConnick seeks greater protection for comics industry talent. Well, that would be interesting if there was actual talent in the comic book industry. I would seek protection for talent in the comic book industry if it existed, but it doesn't exist. I'm glad that the gatekeeper provocateur wants to keep some more gates. Kelly Sue DeConnick is not a good writer. She is a terrible writer. She is creatively bankrupt. Her whole gig is sleeping with another writer, flirting with another writer named Warren Ellis, and getting gigs she doesn't deserve based on her talent, not because she has boobs. Actually, she's gotten a lot more jobs because she's because she's a woman, than she would have if she was a bloke nowadays. She has the female privilege of the comic book industry, and she has helped destroy it because she sucks. She doesn't write compelling stories. Her books get canceled all the time. She's great at writing little niche books called Bitch Planet that's going to sell to a bunch of angry librarians, but not mass market pop culture. She is not made for superhero comics in any way, shape, or form. She has risen above her station, which is supposed to be alternative press. She should be halfway starving with 6 cats, living with her boyfriend and 9 roommates, eating ramen. That's Kelly Sue DeConnick. But for some reason, she lives in a weird age where people have actually told her she's actually talented when she's not. Anybody remember that Kelly Sue DeConnick comic you read? No. But that's what the industry is now, and that's why it's a club. So comic book writer Kelly Sue DeConnick, known for flirting with Warren Ellis and then driving a bus over him, known for her work on Aquaman. Oh, that's a stretch, CBR. Her feature film inspiring run, Captain Marvel. Yep, that did well. DeConnick was interviewed for a Hollywood Reporter piece tackling the various allegations of abuse and misconduct, sexual or otherwise, the abuse and misconduct that she supposedly knew all about and didn't say a fucking word about it. To come out to the comic book industry over the last couple of months, DeConnick touched, well, that's not a proper use of a phrase, touched upon how networks of gatekeepers like editors and establishment freelance talent are often those who recruit new creators for publishers rather than those creators being optioned for jobs through agents. You're never going to get agents in the comic book industry, just like you're never going to have a union. You want to know why? Both of those things require this one thing. What's that one thing? What's that one thing? Money. That's right, money. It requires money. The comic book industry doesn't make any money. Therefore, it won't attract agents. If it made money, it would have naturally attracted agents. You notice, if the comic book industry was successful, Diamond would have had competition. There would have been somebody who wanted to compete against Diamond going, well, they're the only distributor in this awesome comic book industry that's like swimming in money right now. I want a piece of that motherfucking pie. I'm going to distribute better than Diamond. I'm going to be their competition. Why did that never happen? Why did a human being never say, why did that sentence not pass through the pie hole of a human being in the last 20 years? Because it doesn't make money. It's not a successful business. It's niche. It's barely hanging on. And the same thing goes for unions and agents. Oh my God. As much as I want an A-Force movie, I want the comic book industry. Oh, please, God, unionize. Please unionize. Pretty, please. Kelly Sue DeConnick, unionize Marvel and DC. Please. Oh, you want to end it. It will be over before it begins if they unionize Marvel and DC. Do it. Do it. Do it. Some describe this system as being one that helps to create unbalanced and potentially abusive power dynamics. Kelly Sue DeConnick would know all about it because she practices those abusive power dynamics. When new people get brought in, they are brought in by people who are already working. She went to school, by the way. She's a smart cookie. There's no traditional ladder. So the way, I hate to point out a stereotype, and ladies in the chat, forgive me. I hate to point out a stereotype, though. But the comic industry did pretty good until they started bringing in women who were not familiar with the comic book industry. And then all of a sudden, there's power dynamics, there's HR, and there's lost sales. I don't think it's a coincidence. Men, too. I'm going to say people. They brought in people who were not familiar with the comic book industry. So they did, Kelly Sue DeConnick, reach outside of the comic book industry and bring in shitheads like you. And that's why it's fucked up. And that's why it's dying. And your big fix for the comic industry, after thinking about this for months, is to get a fucking agent. Then hire an agent. Nothing's stopping you from hiring an agent. Do you know I could hire an agent right now? Do you know people email me asking to be my agent? I don't know why they would want to be my agent. It'd be the worst job in the world. Try to fucking herding cats. Try to herd me. yes, there's people who actually reach out to me. I'm sure they've reached out to Jeremy. I'm sure they've reached out to Az. I'm sure they've reached out to just some guy. And we've all said no. But they're not reaching out to Kelly Sue DeConnick, but she helped a Captain Marvel movie happen. While DeConnick admits, okay, this is my favorite. I'm going to end it right here. While DeConnick admits that she is a gatekeeper. I'm looking for a mic to drop. Here. Article over. Oh my God. The beer bug has made, honestly, the Access Media has completely lost it. They tried to they called out Captain America. Remember when they tried to cancel Captain America, calling him selfish? While I'm a gatekeeper, she also advocated for publishers to require that prospective creator talent use agents to pursue opportunities on their behalf. She went to Hollywood for a couple weeks because of the Captain Marvel visit. She had a talk with Brie Larson. Brie Larson said, you should have an agent because Brie Larson doesn't know fucking shit about the comic book industry. Then Kelly Sue DeConnick comes back and goes, we should have agents because Brie said it's really good for our representation. And then somebody went, how much you going to pay that agent? Agents make money? We have to pay them? No, Marvel will pay my agent for me. No. Sure. Unionize comic books, agents, do all that stuff. Your boy Zach had a great video title today. Let's see if I can find it. Let's see if I can find it. Hang on. By the way, Zach, change your fucking name back to Diversity in Comics. Okay? Seriously. Comics Matter with your boy Zach sounds like a PBS after school special about like drugs. Like getting the low down with Uncle Bill. Nah. I think everybody agrees with me on that one, Zach. And I would say that your subs would pick up again if you changed it back. Branding matters, dude. And if you go back and look at your name change, I want you to look at your analytics after your name change. It matters. It really does matter just as much as comics do. Your brand. And your brand is Diversity in Comics. And there's nothing wrong. Don't be afraid of that. I know you don't worry about acceptance. Don't worry about acceptance, this industry. They're going to need your acceptance, dude. So here's the title of his video. This is great. The only reason to break into mainstream comics is to make a name for when you go into crowdfunding. That is great. I'll say it again. The only reason to break into mainstream comics is to make a name for yourself when you get into crowdfunding. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-bum. Wait. Oh. My sound effects. I got crickets too. I don't know what this one is. Hang on. There you go. I don't want to hit every button here. I've got my music in this. Hang on. That's right. That's my jam. That's fucking funny, dude. All right. Where was I? Dude, what time is it? Oh my God, I got to go to bed, dude. I got to make a thumbnail in the morning. Maybe I'll show you like the first couple of minutes of my video. If you promise to watch it tomorrow and share it a lot. I'm going to try. Okay, I only made 6 videos last month. 6. I usually make, prior to the beer bug, I think I made 10 a month, 10 or 12. I'm no Jeremy, although Jeremy's cut back on his video making too. But yeah, I don't do like 4 a day. I probably should. I've been really wanting to talk about the weirdness going on in Hollywood, so I might. But I'm going to try to make 12 this month. Going to try to make 12. It's a goal. But that's why the nooners are going to be at different times, because these live streams, man. Whew. I'll be on Az's show for like 2.5 hours tomorrow. I got a huge stack of awesome comics for next to nothing. Superman back issues just aren't worth a ton of money. And it was brilliant. I found a huge collection that goes back to 1950, and I got it for like a song and a dance. I am still looking for this. That's what I was looking for. Okay. Joner. Oh boy. How do you say this? Joner Furter for $2. Who is Kelly Sue D? Is she's not J.K. Rowling. No. Kelly Sue DeConnick is not J.K. Rowling. J.K. Rowling is a good writer. She's crazy, but she's a good writer. A good writer who finished her book series. And that's why she's a billionaire. She's a billionaire. Multi-billionaire. Why? Because she finished her series, because people loved her book. She also had a massively successful movie series made on it. For Christ's sake, the first print of Harry Potter, go look at how much it's worth. It's a modern book. It came out within the last 20 years. $100,000. $100,000. You know what the first print of a Game of Thrones is worth? A couple thousand. Helps to finish the book, George. You're J.K. Rowling's bitch too. And you know what? I like Harry Potter. The fandom's weird, and it can get Raylo. But for the normies, I read it. My kids liked it, and it kind of grew up with my kids, so we all kind of enjoyed it together, like Doctor Who. So I'm not afraid to say I like Harry Potter. I do. Went to the Harry Potter to the castle and the 4D ride at Universal Studios. It was brilliant. Had some butterbeer. It's cool. Just woke up. I hate mornings. Please cheer me up. Peppermint oil capsule for £2. Cheer you up. How could I instantly cheer you up? Lord of the Rings on Prime is not going to suck. Let's go over that real quick before I go. I don't think it's going to suck. I don't think it's going to suck. There we go. All right. Lord of the Rings Amazon series reportedly includes Sauron, Galadriel, and Elrond. By the way, this is all news that if you come to the Nerdrotic Nooner, you heard this shit a month ago, didn't you? You're welcome, because I watch OneRing.net. That's where they got all this. By the way, Russell Crowe might be the last king of Numenor. You heard that here second, because I heard it first at the OneRing.net. I might do a video on this stuff. Amazon's upcoming Lord of the Rings streaming series will purportedly include 3 classic characters previously depicted in Peter Jackson's directed films. According to a tweet from the OneRing.net, Sauron, Galadriel, and Elrond will appear in Amazon's Lord of the Rings series. This is very good news. Now, Galadriel is going to be the lead. I don't necessarily have a problem with that if she's acting like a narrator. I don't know if she, because I think it's actually going to be about Sauron. Like, Sauron is going to be what it's about. Okay. And there's a lot that goes into that, and we're talking thousands of years. So I'm guessing that they're going to take certain points of time, and it's going to lead up to the ring. That's fucking awesome, because that wasn't the plan that wasn't the original plan, folks. And they went and rewrote the entire first season. I don't know if this article is going to mention it, but Uncle Gary will in a second. The villain is Sauron, who played in humanoid form by Sala Baker, while Alan Howard voiced the antagonist in Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, and The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. Sauron, disguised as the Necromancer, appeared in the Hobbit movies, where he was played by Benedict Cumberbatch. The super... I can't do it now. I practiced black speech, how they use it in The Hobbit, which is awesome, by the way. Ash, nash. I'll do it someday. The super expensive show already has hit a multi-season commitment from Amazon. Production had begun earlier this year in New Zealand, shutting down due to the beer bug. Filming reportedly aims to resume in September. It has already resumed, by the way. It's already resumed. Amazon's Lord of the Rings takes place during Middle-earth's Second Age, a period only briefly seen in Lord of the Rings movies. In our extensive breakdown of the Second Age, we said that the setting spans a long period of time between the banishment of Morgoth, the original Dark Lord, and the first defeat of the servant Sauron. The Second Age is defined by key events like the rise and fall of the Kingdom of Numenor, and the creation of the Rings of Power, and the formation of the Last Alliance that temporarily saved the world from Sauron's wrath. The long-lived half-elven Elrond was the captain of the Herald of Gil-galad. Gil-galad. Very sad. Very sad. The High King of the Noldor. During the Second Age, during the time Elrond fought in the War of the Last Alliance, which saw men and elves battling against Sauron and dying. These events were depicted in Jackson's Fellowship of the Ring. In addition, Myfrid Clark as young Galadriel. Amazon's Lord of the Rings series cast includes Robert Amaro. Okay. Is that all we got? All right. Let me add to you the other information. Filming has already begun. I believe, based on what I've heard, that the 2-part pilot will be the fall of Numenor. There's supposedly water tanks, lots of water tanks involved. Well, Numenor is like Atlantis. It fell into the ocean. So, yeah. So if I do a video, but Russell Crowe is rumored to possibly be in it. They've already filmed, and they might have a new showrunner. This new showrunner is an actual competent director. Now, there are some movies he's made that have been kind of duds to some people, like the last Jurassic Park movie. But the guys who were running the show were affiliated with Bad Robot, and they had no experience at all. They had only helped write a script for Star Trek Beyond. That was the entirety of their fucking work. And they were running, these two guys were running Lord of the Rings. You want to talk about power? J.J. Abrams has power. I don't know what these two guys had to do to become showrunners of Lord of the Rings with no experience. My guess is they went up to Bohemian Grove and they sacrificed something to Moloch and came back and got this gig. Well, apparently they're out now, because it made me very nervous to see a lot of Bad Robot people involved with this show and then those two guys running it. Now, apparently this director who has come in to do these pilots has impressed Amazon because they probably saw his work compared to the guy's work who had no fucking experience. And they went, oh shit, this guy's actually done something. Maybe we should not trust our billion-dollar franchise to a couple of Jar Jar Abrams sycophants. Good idea, Amazon. Since you're going to be running the entertainment industry, you might as well run it right. So I want this show to be good because I will dedicate my life to bringing this show down if it sucks and if they fuck up Lord of the Rings. It is sacred text to me, all right? It is sacred fucking text. And believe me, I'm going after Hulu for Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy because they're going to fuck that show up bad. That's going to be shit. I almost did. Oh, by the way, Orville's not canceled. Orville's not canceled. It's bullshit. I can't say a lot. I talked a little bit on the Inquisition. I probably said more than I should have. I hope Tom Constantino didn't hear that. But I love Tom Constantino. I love Seth MacFarlane. The Orville is not canceled. That's all I can tell you right now. Maybe I'll be able to tell you more in the future. I'm not going to say it's a slam dunk they're getting a fourth season either, but it's not canceled. We need to support the Orville as much as we humanly possibly can over the next year. It is that important. The Hitchhiker's Guide show is going to be run by Carlton Cuse of Lost. It's going to suck. Americans should not have anything to do with the production of Doctor Who or Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy or Dirk Gently. I know some people like the Dirk Gently show, but it wasn't Dirk Gently. It was a show called Dirk Gently that was nothing like Dirk Gently. There's enough Brits that can make a Brit show, or don't bother, okay? So there you go. Fucking hail Amazon and Lord of the Rings. Don't fuck it up or I'll hate you. And I won't be alone. I won't be alone. There'll be a lot of people who'll be pissed. Nicholas Horton. Gary, will Kate Blanchett and Hugo Weaving reprise their character roles? No, they're going to be played by younger roles. And the guy they had originally to play Elrond was the guy from Bandersnatch, and he looked like fucking young Hugo Weaving, but he had to bail due to a scheduling conflict. Geg 812 Australian $5. Just subscribe to your alternate channel, the Harvey Zone. That's Doomcock's alternate channel, but it's good that you subscribe there. I highly recommend you do it. My alternate channel is Nerdrotic Live. But if you want to hear Exozones, you need to subscribe to the Harvey Zone and Nerdrotic Live because they alternate between the two. If you want to find Nerdrotic Live, just go on my main channel page, look to the right, look for the blue circle with the glasses in it and not the yellow. Nerdrotic Blue. Looking forward to hearing you and Doomcock discuss UFOs, mysteries, and the Exozone, and we're going to be doing a lot in September. What's the name of your jam? Oh, Nola Nerd for $2. The name of the song, this song right here. It's called Beam Me Up. It's in the free YouTube library. It's about 2 minutes long. It's a very soothing song, so I like it. So you go download it. I'll just put a link to it on my website. But yeah, you can just go to the free music YouTube music library. Just search Beam Me Up. Mags had an agent, and she worked wonders for him. Her Captain Chokeout for $1.99. Or no, him and her, basically. Yeah, Mags had an agent, and it worked. Great. You were not wrong. Just a small token to thank you for answering my nonsense. Hail, Anxel493. It's not nonsense. There's no nonsense here. Thank you. My nonsense. Thank you for putting up with my nonsense. Thank you for the $5. Gary, what are your thoughts on the writers' strike years ago? They replaced all the writers with internationally programmed pod people. Cloud Fusion waffles for $5. The writers' strike fucked up Hollywood in a lot of ways, and it gave us Alex fucking Kurtzman. So how do you think I feel about the writer's strike? There's a lot of people who are very mad about it. But I got to admit, the writers I'm not a union guy. I'm just not. Probably because I owned a business. So it's in my blood just not to be union. But the writers had a beef. The writers had a legit beef. Writers kind of make the show go round, and they fuck themselves a lot. But the nature of the craft is there's so many bad writers that when there's a good writer, you should pay that person a lot of money, but they generally don't. They're the idea people. And, but writers are going to have a big problem because there's something that they're competing against right now that is very similar to what they competed against back then. Remember, during the writer's strike, what kept Hollywood going? Reality TV. Thing is, it wasn't reality. They were scripted. I know this for a fact. I know you guys all know that, but I worked a little bit on a reality show and it was scripted as fuck. So, but they're competing against live streaming and podcasts now. And they can't compete against that because most of us don't use writers. We don't have agents. And there's more of us popping up every day. So honestly, I don't even know how good my podcast does. It might not do shit. I'm on Spotify, I'm on iTunes, but I'm mainly here. And all these live streams, I just import them over to my website and they become podcasts. And I guess people listen to them because I do get emails from people who say, I'll listen to you on the road. And it's awesome. I love it. I think it's great. But yeah, thoughts on the writer's strike. It screwed up Heroes, which I thought had a pretty decent first season. Save the cheerleader, save the world. And then Chris Eccleston went over there and was the Invisible Man. That was really random. But it brought us Alex Kurtzman. Hail, Gary, you're a... Hail, Gary, you A-lister. Imagine how annoyed someone must be. Something to help you move. I have an answer for Kelly. Shit of comics. It's not your politics. I don't like it. And it's not your politics. I don't like it. It's you. No, it's not your politics I don't like. It's you I don't like, Kelly. I'm getting tired. I have an answer for Kelly Sudaconic. It's not your politics I don't like. It's you, bigot. Thank you, Star Trekker 58, for 10 Australian dollars. And she is a bigot. Just like all the bigots from the Hugo Awards who were, oh my God, did you read those tweets? They're in my video. I was so fucking angry after I read those tweets. So Data Racer, again, if you're not following Data Racer on Twitter, it's at Data Racer, DATARACER 117 on Twitter. Follow this man. He's a sick dude. He will find the worst tweets by people. He must see just all the ugliness on Twitter. I don't know how he gets through it. But yeah, he found all the tweets at George R. Martin. I read them with a little bit of a twist in my video. Hope you enjoy it. So again, I start my George R. Martin video criticizing the fuck out of George for missing his deadline, which I'm still going to do. I'm going to criticize him all I want because I love him. Because I like him. I like his work. I've actually read his books. I want him to live. I don't wish death on him. But it's kind of like family, you know, like I'll criticize my sister, but if somebody goes after my sister, they're fucking dead. But I'll like her and I will argue like crazy. So you know how it is, right? That's how it is with George. I'm very disappointed that George is not going to be finishing the story, and he's not, folks. I mean, he's flat out not. But what happened over the weekend, I'll just give you this hint on my video. What happened over the weekend is the real reason we didn't get Winds of Winter. It's the real reason we will not get Dream of Spring. And it's the real reason he decided to focus on Fire and Blood and make a female-centric story for HBO. Identity politics. George isn't worried about making the story great. He doesn't have writer's block. You just saw what he got accused of for getting the name wrong on an award, mispronouncing names, and he was called trans fucking phobic. Wait till you'll see, because I got the audio clip of the offense where they're calling him transphobic now. Well, I have the clip in my video of the offending remark. You tell me if that's transphobic, if it's phobic at all. And once you see what they're calling transphobic, you're going to see the lie. And that's the same lie that's perpetuated against us over here when we're called white supremacists or fucking alt-right or whatever. You notice, like, we do talk for a living. I mean, we make videos, our live streams go on forever, for Christ's sake. You don't think they could find a little bit of audio that kind of backs up their accusations? Yet it's never provided, ever, ever. I can hear you out there. Well, they could clip something together and edit it dishonestly and probably make something. Sure, but we could disprove it in a second. That's the thing. It's like they're even aware that we would just disprove it because I have access to all my own material. Also, they're too fucking lazy. They don't actually listen to our shit. They don't actually watch our stuff. Have a sip of coffee. Can I get a shout out for my self-published book, Confessions of a Magpie Wizard? It's on Amazon, guaranteed unwoke. And thanks for the great channel. Sure, Darth Bobcat. It's called Confessions of a Magpie Wizard, and it is on, you said Amazon? Amazon? Oh, there it is right there. I'm just making sure it doesn't show any personal information. There we go. Hang on. There you go. Confessions of a Magpie Wizard. It's available on Amazon. That's a real book by a real person. So check it out, please. I love my stream board. I think it's overkill for just pushing buttons, but I do like it. I really do. It's got to do more, though, than just change scenes for me. I got to figure out what else. I got a new camera, and it took like 8 messages back and forth the comics division trying to figure out. Oh God, I'm so pissed. So it wasn't connecting to the computer. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing wrong? You know, I connected the HDMI cable, and it's this. They're not that expensive, and they're pretty good. I think they're sold out on Amazon. No, I think they're $500, but it's the same camera comics division uses. I needed to write some shit off this year. I got to write off a bunch of stuff last year, not this year. Like this year, I'm going to be owing all kinds of fucking money in taxes. But yeah, couldn't fucking figure it out. Yeah. It was a fucking USB cable. I thought you could just connect through the HDMI cable. Not the case. I needed to connect the HDMI, the USB cable too. So I'm officially old and fucking out of it completely. Gary, look at Phil Morris' recent tweet about Jody. God dang it. Lady Gravemaster, if you're going to watch this later, please contact Phil Morris. We need to set up the interview. God, I forgot. There's 2 people we need to interview. We need to interview the young lady from the knitting community who I've been talking about. I'm going to need to get her on. And Phil Morris, we need to get him on too. Do I have time to check out this tweet though? Because I really do have to go. It is 20 minutes past my bedtime. Oh, wow. Oh, shit. I'm just seeing all this stuff I forgot to do today. I was supposed to get back to Kurt Metzger too. God damn it. It's like I need a producer or something. I haven't talked to her all day today though. I don't know what you're talking about, Nicholas Horton. We got a pinned tweet from the 15th, and then we got Matthew Purchase from August 3rd that says the following retweets are the source of the Chris Chibnall rumors as reported last night. I don't know what that means. So, yeah, I don't know if I'm missing the tweet you're talking about. Or, sorry about that. Anytime you want to talk, I'm down. The things I would tell you would blow your mind. The $25 for the YouTube tax. Get your family somewhere safe. Godspeed. Dead Patriot. Yeah, maybe we'll have to talk if you want to tell some Baghdad stories on Exozone sometime. That might be something fun to do. Fuck yeah. Thanks for the $25, dude. Hey, Gary, for someone who never watched Doctor Who, where should one start? Thanks for the work. Thanks for your work watching you since the Game of Thrones season 8 disaster. Yeah. Nicolo, thank you for the £5. I got a ton of emails this weekend asking me for the George R. R. Martin video and asking why I haven't made another one. So the last one I made, I kind of thought I said my piece. I was like, Dream of Spring's not coming out. I don't know what to say. I mean, it's kind of up to you whether you want to continue reading A Song of Ice and Fire and supporting the guy because he's not finishing the fucking series. It's not going to happen unless he lets somebody finish it for him. But that's still a downer, right? But let's be real. Let's be real about George for a minute. Not the healthiest guy in the world, but let's just say he's got 20 years left. He's not going to want to spend those 20 years writing a book. It's going to take him another 7 or 8 to write another one after this. He's going to have to jump right into it. And guess what? Watch my video tomorrow. He might not be jumping on A Dream of Spring. That might not be his next book. Watch my video tomorrow. But yes, I will make more A Song of Ice and Fire stuff. As a matter of fact, I read a chapter, The Forsaken, one of the Winds of Winter sample chapters. I read it. I think I need to redo the end a little bit, but I got a pretty good response, so I'm probably going to release it on my channel. I listen to other people's sample chapter readings all the time, so I'm like, I might as well do one. Watching Brave New World, amazing and not woke so far. That's what I've heard, Vaughn Marks. I need to see that. God, I hope Umbrella Academy rallies. I really do. I don't think all out of bubblegum. No, there's a bunch of super chats from the front, from the top. I still got to read, buddy. It skips on me. So again, I got to reset this every show. YouTube skips. Okay, I'll just show you. Hang on. I'm going to show you guys something. I have to reset this all the time though. Article. Hang on. I don't think I'm going to, it depends on how many there are, because I really do have to go. Hang on. There we go. Okay. So you're seeing this little area right here where the super chats are, right? Right. Okay. So what happens is this jumps. So unless I refresh the screen, and it doesn't matter all the time, if I don't refresh the screen, what will happen is you'll see here. Let's go. Let's get a couple names that you can see. All right. So you see Ola Nerd. You see Ola Nerd. Oh, Nola Nerd. Okay. So Nola Nerd and Peppermint Oil Capsule. What will happen is I'll go like this, and then 10 or 15 names will show up between Nola Nerd and Peppermint Oil Capsule. So when you hear people say the live stream super chats jumped on me, there's a bunch of super chats in between Nola Nerd and Peppermint Oil that I haven't seen yet, and then I'll do this. And then I'll come down and I'm like, oh shit, there's like fucking 30 super chats there I didn't see before. So, yeah. So all out of bubblegum. I'm going to go up and see what I saw of yours. But yeah, they just disappear and show back up. I don't fucking know why they do it. I've bitched about it, but they haven't done anything about it. They don't listen to me. I don't have Mama Susan's digits. I try though. I don't think you didn't read my super chats. I'm at work and I got a call. Is YouTube fucking with me? I don't know. No, YouTube's not fucking with you at all. All out of bubblegum. We'll go back up and look though. Don't worry. I know there's a bunch that are up there because it always happens. Big Daddy, Bionic Belly Button. Thank you for the super sticker. It's always good to see Bionic Belly Button here. Mech 940. Gary, I'm stuck here in New Jersey. Hopefully I'll get out of here soon. Take a look at San Antonio. Have to say prices are much better. Good luck. Yeah, I'm looking at San Antonio. Comics Division has sent me a couple of houses, and the prices on those things are unbelievable. So there's houses there that are the third of the cost of my little tiny ancient house that I'm in right now that are huge. C19 here to save us from the Orphan 55 being real, LOL, says Mr. Grant Gregory for Australian $2. Right. Gary, Tom and I are curious where you get a bunch of Coke for $20. We're just curious, honestly. Jury Nitpicker for $4.99. That was a long time ago. I could get Coke for $20 though. Even when I was off the off the wagon. I mean, it wasn't a bunch, but it was, a quarter gram. It'd get you going for like an hour or two. In what world can you get a bunch of Coke for $20? Well, dude, back in the 80s, you could. You also had to know people, dude. I mean, like, if you didn't know the dealer, if you're like getting it on the streets over on the corner, yeah, you're not getting a bunch of Coke. But if you are yo-yo cheap in California, $20 is New Jersey, it's a bump. Oh yeah, you don't get a bump for $20. You still get a quarter gram. Come on, guys. You're up in Wisconsin though. See, San Francisco, there's like drugs here. There's real drugs. Sorry, you live out in the boondocks. I mean, you probably pay more than like $2 for a hit of acid too, right? You probably pay like $20 for a hit of acid. That's ridiculous. Hit of acid is like $5. I don't know. Last time I bought a hit of acid was like fucking 2 decades ago. So over 2 decades ago. But like acid used to be cheap as fuck. I used to be able to get a panel for a couple $100. And God, that would last me a half a year. Hail Gary, who has a side gig as Shining Knight and Stargirl? Bitty bitty. All the best to you and the family on your CalEXIT. Okay, I got to see the Shining Knight fucking thing that people keep on saying. Hang on. Oh, is that one? Okay, dude. I was wondering why somebody sent me that fucking picture on Twitter. I'm like, what the fuck are they sending me? And I get it. That's a fake beard, though. See, my beard's real. It's not a very good picture. It's like behind the graphics. Hang on. I'm going to see if it's... What? I don't look like that. Oh, jeez. I am fucking Snowflame compared to this shit. Hang on. Article. I don't look like that. Oh, maybe a little. That's a fake beard though. This shit's real. Okay, this shit's real. All right, we'll look at that crap for a little while. All right. Gary's got to go to bed though. Hail to the moving fun. Thank you, Cisco Kid, for $20. And yeah, that's so weird. I'm on a different window. Tom's super chat's not here. Nobody's super chat is there. Jason C, thank you for the phallic unicorn for $1.49. Damn it. It was me and Nola Nerd's fault all along. Peppermint oil capsule for £2. It really was. It really was. And I'm going to go to the other window where the other super chats show up. That's fucking bizarre. Russell Hall, damn yo-yos cheap in California. Yeah, damn straight it is. Rock Flanagan, thank you for the $3. Midnight's Edge, I love you so much. Joe Voss for $19.99. George R. R. Martin has the ability for an amazing legacy. He could properly finish Game of Thrones by finishing his own damn story and even make killer money. And he's throwing it away. Breaks my heart, man. Joe Voss for $19.99. And you know what part of the reason is? You know what part of the reason is, my friend? It is, hang on. You guys got to be able to see that. At least you can see it. I hit the wrong one. It's supposed to be there. All these people who are criticizing him right now, it's his fault that they're there. He brought this shit on himself. I'll repeat what I said earlier on. In 2015, there was an incident called the Sad Puppy Incident. I only briefly go over this in the video because it's really, it's a long explanation. But essentially, the science fiction and fantasy book scene had its own Comicsgate, Fandom Menace, Gamergate, and it was called Sad Puppies. It was called Puppygate. The reason it's called Sad Puppies was there was a few writers who were noticing only awards were being given for diversity points. So they made a joke that if you just wrote a story with a cute little sad puppy in it, you would get a Hugo Award. So that might not exactly be it, but that's what I heard. So, of course, the SJWs and the NPCs labeled the sad puppies anti-diversity, which they were pro-meritocracy. So remember, if you're pro-meritocracy, you're anti-diversity, but it's gotten worse now. If you're pro-meritocracy, you're now white supremacist. So it's gone from anti-diversity to white supremacist, being supported by organizations like Bad Robot and Disney now. See how bad this got? So this is why we wanted to fight that battle back then, but they lost. They lost. Well, they gave up, basically. They fought the battle, and they gave up. And they gave up because Vox Day got involved. And then, so there was the sad puppies, and there was the rabid puppies. And when Vox Day gets involved, then that label of white supremacist can stick. Now, I know some of you might like Vox Day. I don't know a whole lot about him, but I have listened to the man, and I know what he says, and I don't agree. I do not agree with some of the stuff he says, like vehemently disagree with it. He has every right to say it, though. I will fight for his right to be able to say what he wants, publish what he wants. That's it. But there's things I just fundamentally do not agree with him on. And I think if you bring Vox Day into your movement, it could poison the well. And that's what happened with the sad puppies. Vox Day got involved. Well got poisoned. Everybody left. So the SJWs and the NPCs won. Total victory. So now you reap the benefits of that. Now George R. Martin makes a couple of mistakes. Right? By the way, there's this whole philosophy out there now that if you were a man of your time, you're just considered a racist and you should be unpersoned and forgot about. And if you mention that person, you're a racist too. So that's what George R. Martin mentioned John Campbell. There was an award called the John Campbell Award for 38 years at the Hugos. They changed it last year because one person whinged about it on Medium. And I'm not kidding. Yes, he said some pretty salty shit back in the day. But if you go read his Wikipedia, they said he was a salty person. He was a contrarian, a lifelong contrarian. So he would take a devil's advocate even on opinions that wouldn't be popular of the time. Nuance. You know, George R. Martin probably knows a lot more about this dude than the newbie at the Hugos who labeled him a racist and demand that the Hugos bend the knee and change the name of the award. Well, they did. Well, they might as well change the Hugo because remember, it looks like a rocket ship, so it's a giant penis. They should probably change that because it just symbolizes a giant fucking penis. That being said, so George R. Martin mispronounced a couple of names because he's old. Forgot that they changed the name of the John Campbell Award because he's fucking old. And made a statement, which I'm going to save for the video. You got to watch the video. That's being called trans fucking phobic. So fuck these people. Fuck them in every hole. They're terrible. They're evil fucking people. And they don't really believe you're all racist, but they're running with it. They are running with it. You notice they're practically smiling when they're doing this shit because they know they are tearing something down and they see blood in the water. We had these people fucking beat. We had them beat. That's the most frustrating thing. At the end of the year, we were winning. Those of us with common sense, with common decency, were winning. And now we're losing. And you want to know why? Because we're nice. We're the nice ones. You know, the ones that, you know what? If Matt Jarbo is labeling you a racist, you're doing something right. If the man who has dropped the N-word multiple times on the internet, with the man with a lot of stuff going on about him right now, is calling you a racist, you're doing something right. So don't worry about game forums calling you a white supremacist. Don't worry about any of this shit anymore. Because we're going to have to take this fight to them now. And we're going to have to be
not so nice about it this time. We're going to have to start playing the game by their rules. You know, that's how they infiltrated our favorite hobbies. We have to do the same thing now because they are in control. They are the establishment. You know what? Librarians are very powerful figures now in publishing and in comics. Well, what are librarians? They're state employees. They are state gatekeepers. So now we have the state pushing comic books and books, and it's all from one side. So who's the establishment? Really? Think about it. Is this shit really becoming propaganda? Yes, it is. Absolutely. 100%. It stopped being art, and now it's becoming propaganda. And the state employees, the establishment workers, are the librarians. And there's a couple who take a shot at George. I've seen this thing creeping into comics over the last few years, and I've seen like when there was, 10 years ago, there was one librarian panel at Comic-Con. I went last year. There was 10. I'm like, why is there 10 librarian panels? What's up with this? Now I looked into it. Oh, shit. Librarians have a lot of fucking power. Can't fire them. They're state employees. They're the official purchasers for the state. And states can fund books with grants. Like if you write this certain story, we'll fund your story. I wouldn't be surprised at all if I brought you an ocean was some sort of grant DC or Warner Brothers received for writing a story about a person of color in the alphabet community. Like you get some stupid grant for it. Wouldn't be surprised at all. Not saying that's what happened, but that's how that's how the state-sponsored books start coming in. And you're like, wow, that's weird. I didn't even notice that when I owned a comic store. I know that if you got a library gig, if you're the comic shop who got the library gig, basically you purchased for the library would use your Diamond account, and then they would pay you twice a year. It was a good gig to have. I couldn't get it in the city of San Francisco. I think Rory Root had it in Berkeley, and I think I think Brian, who had it in somebody from San Francisco. Who had it? I can't remember who had it in San Francisco. Some store had it in San Francisco. You make a bunch of money. But yeah, it's shenanigans. It's shenanigans. All right, I'm going to read a couple more super chats. Then I got to go. Irish Jack 72, thank you for becoming a member at the Gandalf level. Mac Way, thanks for keeping your live streams open for all. Always, Mac. And remember, they go to Nerdrotic Live when they're done. Nerdrotic Live. Don't forget to subscribe over there. I'm very into D&D, Pathfinder, Cthulhu, etc. What are your thoughts about Wizards of the Coast going full woke with D&D? Fuck them. You need to fight that, Robert Meza. Fight it tooth and nail. Or stop. What I think is if they start abandoning you and going woke and start disrespecting the fact that you are a centrist or you're Republican or you're conservative, who are absolutely welcome here, by the way. Okay. You're not, you know what? Right now, I basically considered a white supremacist because I don't think Trump supporters are evil. I don't think they're Yahtzees. I don't think they're Nazis. I just think they're American voters. That's all. Hail, Gary. Thanks for the live stream. Hurricane Isis is passing through North Carolina right now, watching through my cell phone since my power went out. Oh, shit. Night Mask, I hope you're okay. All out of bubblegum. You beat Jeremy. You are the man with the larger than average PP. I don't know. I haven't sized it up with anybody, so I don't know. Thank you, Night Mask. Hope you're okay. All out of bubblegum. There's your super chat. Finbar Hooley for $5. The girl giving the acceptance speech is not wrong. The SJWs will do all of these things she says has happened to her constantly and out of virtue. Finbar, you're not wrong.
The funny thing is, she was talking about the industry that had supposedly been cleansed of all the toxic masculinity. Yeah, it's still there. If I had known SF was so racist, I would have started writing, and I would have missed becoming the best new writer. Oh wait, says Scipio for $5. Not Public Enemy #1, a work in progress. Working. Melbourne, Aussie's most Marxist city and center of beer bug, now has 8 p.m. curfew. Only one person allowed per household for 6 weeks. Learn from us, says Corey Tigman. It's straight up like, yeah, there you go. Get the fuck out of cities. Australia, you might need a revolution or something. Yeah. What the fuck's going on down there? Everything she described is Hollywood, not us. That's complete bull and projection. It's what we said they have been doing. You're right, Midnight's Edge, Tom, for $5. Wham, work better than Durs. Whammon work better than Durs, you racist, says that's so Skaven. And that's as far up as it'll go. That's weird. Why is it not going up any farther? Thank you, Dead Patriot, for the $50. If I missed one, I'm sorry. Holy shit, we still have 23 people. What are you people doing up right now? 2,300 people at 12:43 a.m. You guys are too kind. Holy shit. All right, let me go to the other one and see if I can see the rest. I'm totally going to regret this. I need to have my video out before I go on Bagging and Boarding tomorrow. Right. Mr. Fish's alternate reality for 100 Australian dollars. 100 Australian dollars. Fucking A, Mr. Fish alternate reality is awesome. I don't know if that's a name that has changed or if you're new. I've noticed you've been coming around for about a month, Mr. Fish. We really appreciate you. I don't know if you're a Mr. or Mrs. It could be a Mrs. Fish using a Mr. Fish. I never know. But good day. Thank you. Robert Leisure. I got off work. Sully Goot. Oh, you got off work. Gary, you're on fire tonight, says Grandpappy Fisk. Well, thank you. Well, I I live streamed last night, didn't I? I was on the Inquisition. I forgot. You know what? I've been locked in my room for 8 hours recording a video, and my Nerdrotic Jr. will pop in once in a while to make sure I'm okay. So he'll knock on the door and go, "Is it okay if I come in, Dad?" I said, "Yeah, it's okay." And then he wants to talk to me about some Geeks and Gamers video he saw. He watches the Quartering and Geeks and Gamers. He's watched Midnight's Edge. I strongly encourage it. Sometimes he forgets I watch those videos too, but it's fucking awesome. I love it. No, I don't know if you guys, I told you guys, I walked in there and he's watching, there's Jeremy on his monitor, and I took a picture and sent it to Jeremy. I'm all, my fucking kid's watching you right now. Thought it was pretty funny. Hopefully you can get a 10-minute loop of your room without the microphone for the green screen background, and stay strong, Mrs. Nerdrotic. Love both of you guys. All out of bubblegum. Thank you for the $10. Yeah. You know what? That's a good idea. Well, I'll get the microphone out of the way. I can just do this. I mean, do you guys even know what's back there? Hang on. If I move this way, you can kind of see. See my Superman section right there? And this Lord of the Rings right here. Then behind my fat head is are the TARDIS. There you go. And the giant Migos down there. And yeah. But I'll do a full-on tour. I'll do a full-on tour for sure. Hey man, what's this I hear about them adding a new companion for the Fourth Doctor? What? You mean like in or for Big Finish? I mean, fucking dumb. Thadian Eos for $50. I enjoy your content. Here's some money for your move. Take care and be safe. Thank you, Thadian. I appreciate it. Or Theoden Eos for $50. IK1906. I don't know about a companion for the Fourth Doctor. I'll have to look that up. Lady Gravemaster, if you're out there, oh, she's not awake. It's probably like 3 a.m. in her neck of the woods. Hang on. I got to look at this. That bothers me. New companion Doctor Who Fourth Doctor. What? Why does she have blonde? Oh my God, that hair looks terrible. And that might even be her hair. She has awesome. She has blue eyes. Okay. So we'll play Harry Sullivan alongside Baker and Crooks. Chris Naylor will play Harry Sullivan, the Fourth Doctor companion originally played in television series by the late Ian Marter. The new TARDIS trio will come up against an old threat in the opening story of the new box set Storm of the Sea Devils by David K. Barnes, which will reintroduce the amphibious warrior reptiles first seen in 1972. Naomi is very much like me, said Crooks. She's very feisty and says that she thinks she wants to say, and her weakness, if you will, is that she's quite headstrong. So it's, oh boy, a headstrong, feisty woman. That's so new. I can't wait to hear that. Nicholas Briggs, Big Finish's creative director, said Naomi has a really interesting route on the TARDIS. Very old-fashioned Harry Sullivan. Almost all her reactions to space-time adventures are the complete opposite of what would come to expect from Doctor Who companion. Oh, really? And Ellie breathes fantastically energetic life into the role. Okay. It's not a diversity hire at all. At all. It's not a diversity hire at all. Tom Baker's looking pretty good, though. Look at that, man. He's losing a little weight there, though. He's looking a little thinner. How old is he? He's 80 something, right? Oh my God, I don't even want to think about it. It was like when Stanley was going to die. It's like Shatner and Tom Baker's like, I will not be cool those days. Yeah, fucking, I can't support Big Finish anymore. They've gone big woke. They've gone big woke. Now I just don't like her hair. I don't have a problem with the new companion though. I mean, it's fucking Big Finish, but you see what they're doing? This is what they will be doing. See, they can't just move forward. The thing is, all we've ever wanted is don't fuck with the past. Don't fuck with the foundation. If you want to change things and move forward, move forward. You know what? A lot of people were completely on board with the female doctor. I was not one of them, but a lot of people were. And I would have given it a chance. I give everything a chance. It didn't fucking work. You want to know why? The Doctor's a male character. The Doctor's a male character. I don't know how many fucking times I got to say it. The Doctor's a male character. Comic books is a male hobby. Star Wars started out as a male hobby. So Ben Shapiro isn't wrong at all. I don't care what Jesse says from Mindless Entertainment. Star Wars was liked by mostly dudes in the 70s. I was there. Women can like it. You know what? But when they started making it for what they thought were women stopped liking it. Same with Doctor Who. When they started making it for what they thought would be a female audience, they lost their female audience because women like what women like. They don't like each other all the time, just like dudes don't. We don't like each other all the time either. These companies don't get it. They get too big. They get disconnected from, it just becomes this giant monolith and they become disconnected from being fucking human and understanding the very basics. Jason Momoa, without his shirt on, is going to get more women to anything on this planet. Jason Momoa or Henry Cavill. You get Henry Cavill and Jason Momoa without their shirts on. You have the female audience you are looking for. Those are the droids you are looking for right there. You put a little bit of water on those dudes and you take their shirts off and you got all the moms, all the Karens, all the ladies, a lot of dudes too. That's the female audience you're looking for. They don't want to see a bunch of angry, frumpy lesbians complaining about men. They don't. Your Bechdel test or your Bechdel test is for angry lesbians who want to complain about men. It just is. Sorry. I mean, there's a place for that. You can certainly make a couple indie movies. Indie movies is the place for that. That's the domain for that. That's the representation. But apparently, what I just said, racist, sexist, misogynist. There should be a song. Racist, sexist, misogynist, homophobia. Russell Howell for $2. Vegas seems like a poor choice for clean living. You would think it would, Russell, but I want you to take the Sam Malone philosophy with that. Sam Malone from Cheers. He owned a bar, but he never drank. Just because you're sober doesn't mean you don't want to have a good time. There is a bunch of fun shit to do in Vegas that doesn't involve doing a bunch of coke, getting booze, or gambling. For one, I am not a gambling addict. I am a drug addict. I cannot drink liquor or take drugs anymore because I have some bad wiring. So I will I will be addicted and I won't stop until I'm dead or I'm in jail. But gambling, I can take it or leave it. I like a little bit of blackjack, a little bit of video poker, slot machines, and I'm good after a couple hours. But I love walking around in Vegas. I love the gaudy hotels. Dude, we're going to lose the Luxor, man. I need to stay in the Luxor before it gets knocked down because it's going. And it's going soon, folks. So, yeah, I love Vegas. I love the vibe. It's super cheesy and American, and that's why I like it. Hell yeah, for North County, San Diego. Would love to treat you to a beer or any of the breweries down here. Well, Matt, I'll take a soda. I'll take a soda or a coffee. Thank you, Matt Fleming. I grew up in North County, San Diego. Encinitas, man. I grew up in Encinitas. Went to San Diego High School. I Love Scotch is back for $5. What's up, man? Finbar Hooley for $20. Just make sure you get somewhere that when the Civil War comes between U.S. and the USCP, you are in a defensible position. The far left is coming. You want your life and your money to give to the people they approve of. Finbar, I have to actually think about that now. Some people say that's crazy. No, this is a conversation I have had with my wife, and these are conversations you should be having with your family. There is a sect in this country that wants to take away your personal property and your liberty, and they are Marxist. They might be small in number now, but we need to keep them that way by actually talking about it. And you can't confront a problem until you realize it's there. And denying it exists only will exacerbate it. So I've tried to be as real as I can with you people. I'm not saying it's a danger that's going to take over right now, but it's more real today than it was 4 months ago. So it's kind of like preparing for a disaster. Eventually you may hit one. So you got to have your go bag. You got to have your stash of cash. You got to have your stash of food and probably your ammo and all that stuff, right? So have that conversation of being somewhere where you can fight and defend your home. You don't want to be in a place like San Francisco. You just don't. This is the last place I want to be. And I'm just thankful that a Chad didn't show up here and this place got too expensive and all those shitheads moved to Portland. Sorry, Portland. Rob Atlas for $5. Hail, Gary. Best wishes on the move. By the way, LA buses show BLM on the destination board. It's everywhere. Fucking LA. Ed Powell, your reward for leaving California. I read that one already. Tracy Wilborn for $5. I wish I could recommend New Mexico as an escape, but our current governor has political aspirations and is towing to the extreme lefty party. Yeah, I would normally, Tracy, I would go to New Mexico. That's where my mom lives. But my sister said Albuquerque's just shit right now, and she's probably going to leave. Maybe she'll come down with me to Texas. My little sister's awesome. I got to get her on the show sometime. My little sister is a firecracker. All right. That's it. If I missed a couple, I'll catch them on the square up. Let's see if there was some last minute ones. What is this? Dolliver Elliott for $5. Great coverage on the desolations of icons. Oh, I like that. When I'm up working, so are you. Desolations of icons. I like that. Oh my God, I'm going to borrow that. I'll give you credit. Pre-congratulations on being at 260,000 subs. I don't think I'm there yet, but thank you. Thank you. I was still a couple hundred away, I think. Say you die and end up in hell. Would it be Game of Thrones season 8 or Doctor Who season 11 and 12 on a loop? Oh, hell? All of the above. It would be the worst episodes on a loop. And the worst part about it is they would start a David Tennant episode and then it would go into a Jodie episode. See, that's hell. Just fucking with you more. Hail chat, please take a minute to check out the trailer for Inventing Incidents OGN, now on Indiegogo. 300 pages, for Christ's sakes. It's called Inventing Incidents OGN, now on Indiegogo. It says Altus Libera for $44.99. Thank you. All right, we're out of here. Thank you very much. You guys are lovely. Who was the crazy mod tonight? There's probably no Eric K. Eric, you don't have to do this, man. I love you, man. I freaking love you unconditionally. You do not have to do this. You are up so late right now. Eric K, fucking awesome mod. He has been like brilliant. Nihilist Shadow, love you so much. Nihilist Shadow. Lori Wilson. Hi, Lori. Man, just killing it, Eric. You're fucking awesome. And Lori, good job. Thank you. Okay, thanks to the Nerdrotics, of course. Again, that was Eric K, Lori Wilson, and Nihilist Shadow. Round of applause for some great work there. Thanks for all the super chats. Thank you for the 2 new members. I'll be back Wednesday at noon, but the time might change unless I'm making a video. Hopefully I'll get an Umbrella Academy review in. I will be reviewing Star Trek Lower Decks live for the premiere episode. And Friday Night Tights, don't know who the guest is. We're working on a couple people. And that reminds me, I got to email somebody. So thank you. I really appreciate it. Thanks for listening to the CalEXIT stuff. We'll get back to your regular pop culture. We can have high hopes for Lord of the Rings. I think it might not suck. We always have old content anyway. So next live stream will be in about 10 hours, about 9 hours. I will be joining Az on his channel for bagging and boarding and chatting, the real BBC. And boy, do I've got a bunch of stuff to show you. I can't wait. So not all who wander are lost, and may the wings of liberty never lose a feather. Bye-bye. I wonder if I can hit my music. Hang on. If I do this. Oh, that's nice. Don't forget, I gotta lower the music a little bit. Nerdrotic.com. That's my website where I back everything up. I have a Facebook group, facebook.com/Nerdrotic. You can join there. It's a lot of fun. I also have a Facebook page. I also have an Instagram, instagram.com/Nerdrotic. Mrs. Nerdrotic runs the Instagram. She does a great job. I have a Parler account. I'm on Parler. Please follow me there. Parler.com/ I think it's /something Nerdrotic. Just search Nerdrotic. I'm on Twitter for now. Twitter.com/Nerdrotics, because the Comic Outpost will not release the Nerdrotic name. They're a bunch of dicks. That being said, I do hope Brian Hibbs does recover from his heart attack that he had. So, Sporking News Podcast, I just saw there. Wow, up late or early? I'm up late, Sporking News. It's 1:02 a.m. here on the West Coast, and I am going to bed. I have to get a video. I have to make a thumbnail for a video to release it tomorrow about George R. R. Martin. So there you go, Sporking. You got something to... What are you doing up? Get to bed. All right. Everybody, have a good night. Remember, kids, progress, not perfection.